How you doing?
And now you're live. Say hi to everybody.
Oh, hi, everybody. How you doing? I thought I counted it off in my head the right amount of time.
I do video for a moment, and then I do audio because it's two different buttons.
God. And Jack, if you want some coasters, there's some coasters.
Which we've got.
People already cold chilling? Hi, people.
Straight cold chilling.
And just creepily turn the camera to Gak.
Yeah, we got Gak.
And then just turn it back to Graph.
Okay.
That's fine.
Or I could do it with this one.
Mr. Graham, you want to pass me your Glencairn there?
Yep.
Very good. Thank you. Hi, everybody. How we doing in
first comment,
internet world? Yeah?
First comment. Where's the popcorn, bitches?
Stephen Walsh of Walsh Trivia there, everybody.
There we go. Well,
I thought that was a throwback to our President's Day video.
Did you like that?
Yes.
I had to go back. I had to find that. I had to screenshot it, remove the background. I now can make that into a GIF, which I think I'm totally going to do.
Oh, boy.
So
Now that
we
I've
have.
learned how to do that.
We're not going to tell you all anything other than to say that your special video message this year will be for a different holiday, something new.
Yeah, we do a different one every time.
Mm-hmm. So.
Because Valentine's Day got a little too creepy.
Oh no, this is definitely going to be creepy. It is to be.
The whole point is that it's creepy.
As humanly
it's
possible.
Weird how Valentine's Day got a bit much, so we switched it to President's Day, and that was even worse.
Yeah, well, we were in our wigs.
Yeah.
Which I have.
And then St. Patrick's Day, we had
Kilts.
our kilts, and everybody got to see Taylor's hiding place.
2 girls, 1 cup, not creepy. Valentine's message with Gex.
Yep. I'm here to watch. It's the best. It's the fucking best.
It's still very funny.
You know where that came from, right, Sam?
Vaguely, we discussed it before, but off the top of my head, I can't remember it.
One of the years that they were cutting their promos for Always Sunny in Philadelphia was the next year, the second year of having DeVito.
Yes.
Charlie Day gets called into DeVito's trailer, and it's because it's his turn to blow DeVito. So everybody tells him it's his turn to blow DeVito, and he walks in and he's like, "What is this about blowing DeVito?" And Rhea's like, Rhea Perlman's like, I'm getting the camera set up right now. We'll be okay. And then he walks in, he's Fred Savage, and Fred's just holding a bag of popcorn, looking right at him, and goes, "I'm here to watch," and just eating the popcorn. Fucking brilliant.
So that video, he was like, Gak, you want to come down and just sit in the background and just eat popcorn?
Yeah, just eat popcorn. It'll be great. What are you doing here? I'm here to watch.
That's so funny. It's so fucking funny.
Yeah, I also
It's his turn to just eat popcorn.
so Mel's got
I'm checking we're alive.
we're live.
Benson says, almost on time, splitting attention between you and the Washington Huskies comeback.
Very cool. The Huskies are on a comeback. How about that?
And Scott, our new patron Scott, is watching. McMullen.
Yep, very good.
Who texted me asking me if I knew any Liverpool groups. And I said, even if I did, I'm not allowed to tell you.
Oh, no, there's...
He said that you're cool with it. I'm like, I just let you know.
It's
Baltimore
a Porch
group draws a pretty good crowd.
I was going to say the Baltimore group is the one.
That's what he found.
Baltimore.
Where's he from? Yeah, they go to Smaltimore.
He's here in Annapolis. He's here in Annapolis.
They go to Smaltimore and Canton.
Yeah,
it's a nice little place too.
I now got the full judge of character that I need for Mr. McMullen. I know exactly what kind of guy he is. So we'll be
the
all right.
Baltimore Reds kind of helped form the Craig Willinger Fund.
Yeah,
they were with Simon and Craig was a Liverpool supporter.
Wasn't he a Bayern supporter?
Well,
they said Bayern.
But I thought he went with them a lot.
Okay,
is my understanding.
Okay.
But I don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
Here was exactly.
I was not fortunate enough to know the great man.
I didn't either. I just heard that the Liverpool fan or the Liverpool part of the Liverpool people who went to Slancho were like, let's send him to Bayern because that's his team.
Uh,
And I'm sure there was other people that were involved.
I told him,
Right.
I go, are you
I know
just,
Simon and Mike from our joint they're very like they sit on the
Yeah,
board
they're on the
now.
board, yeah.
I go, are you just trying to piss off Sam? And he goes, well, he was diplomatic a month or so ago when I said I
he's
was
fine.
leaning towards them.
Yeah, he's fine.
He goes, what pissed him off probably is I said I like them because they aren't owned by oil money.
Yeah.
Just also
Just by
slumlords,
fucking
aren't
Boston
they?
cunts.
Shots fired. But I told him, I'm like, yeah, some of our best friends are Liverpool supporters, and like our HR department,
Yeah,
fuck them,
got no issues.
Fuck them. Fuck them.
fuck HR.
It's as I say every single time anybody is getting into the sport, it's take your time, find the team that
Speaks to you. Yeah.
You will find yourself. You'll be watching a bunch of games, and little by little, you'll find yourself only watching a couple of games, and then you'll find yourself watching one team. You'll get there. That's what you'll do.
Yeah, the other thing is figure out which team makes you the angriest, but somehow you still find a shred of optimism at the end of it.
Yeah, precisely.
Or find a team that makes you the angriest and pick their rival.
That's another way.
That's a good.
Thought about it. Taylor Thompson says, I love you, David Geckel. Sorry, that's a Smash Williams talking.
I can't believe
here
you
for you,
smashed
buddy.
Williams it up tonight.
Smash Williams.
Oh my God, somebody, infamous Shore Billy, jumping Jesus on a pogo stick. What is this mess? Jumping Jesus. Jaysus. I
Okay.
said that correctly. Yeah, welcome to the show.
Yes.
Well, it's not the show yet, technically. This is
No, we
this is the
haven't
pregame.
started.
These are the pre-drinks before heading out, you know?
Oh my God, we got so many people commenting. I
The
love
T-shirt
it.
before the T-shirt.
Right?
Grang Sideburns, Brian says, thanks, Arsenal, for not drawing with Liverpool to help out my Fulham. You can't do anything right.
That's from Grain Sideburns. We met from Jay at Blues matches.
Nice.
Infamous Shorebelly 75. Which one of you mofo was the one who looked like they ate Pickford and stole his top?
Me. Yep, that'd be me. Hey, I did. I thought everybody handled it in stride. Me doing the Pickford jersey at the Abbey and with my doing the little arms. So I thought everything.
As long as you were taking a piss out of him, it was fine.
exactly.
They didn't give a shit.
The police horse was also very funny.
Thank you very much.
I didn't get it for a second. I was like, oh.
The old
Police
punch
horse,
10
yeah.
years ago, yeah.
They weren't fans of my remark right after that, which was, hey, look, guys, just because you're all wearing black and white shirts doesn't mean you need to start fighting each other. They didn't care for that one.
Was that Lee Bowyer and Kieran Dyer, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, Lee Boyer played for Leeds, so it's dirty Leeds. He never leaves you.
Yeah. Once you're infected, it's like syphilis. Once you're infected, you can't fucking get rid of it. If you're there longer than a month, you're just stuck with it or something, right?
The
Pretty
best bit ever was Magnus Neverprem,
Yeah, that was pretty fucking great.
which infamous Shorebelly says Tiny Arms was great. You should have posed with Magnus Neverprem.
I should have. Oh, I definitely should have.
I loved, and
I
here's
should have lovingly embraced the side of Magnus's face with my little tiny arms, just gone like this,
Well, to get
So-
that close, you would have been inserted.
Looking for Northern Lass, though.
one more thing before we start the real show, because this is just bullshit.
Yeah, we got to
show.
start the show.
I was doing the live video, and someone, I think it was Christian, went, is that a blow-up doll with a Sunderland shirt? And so I went to get a picture of it, and one of the very nice Newcastle supporters had his beautiful young daughter in his arms right next to the blow-up doll eating a piece of bacon. And I had the shot framed and went, nope, can't take that picture.
Can't take that pic.
Excuse me, sir, would you mind moving away from the of the blow-up doll? He's like, yeah, I appreciate that. I'm like, I just can't be that person.
No.
Forgot the release forms at home, I see.
Precisely.
Well done, Producer Mel.
No. While funny, some things should not be photographed.
Yeah, exactly. All right, ready to do a show?
Are you
Yeah.
warmed up?
Let's do a show.
go.
Warmed up.
There it is.
This is Alan with Tune Army Baltimore. A gooner and a toffee walk into a bar. Decided to do a shit football podcast.
Don't fucking
You're listening
listen,
to
bro.
the DU Football Show.
Don't fucking listen, man.
Hey, if we were a shit football podcast, why the fuck did he invite us to his bar
Yeah,
for
exactly.
his game? You know?
No shit.
It's all fun and games now because
they won.
They won. Imagine if they had lost. I don't think we would have gotten out there alive.
I would have loved it.
We would have been dead. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Huston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of my lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Huston, and across the way from me, leaving his vape at his child's bed, trying to raise her to be a Wigan supporter, my co-host, Mr. Sammy Graham. Sammy, how you doing, brother?
Doing very well, thank you. As you know, our family's of Irish descent, and very familiar with the Black Lung.
Yeah, you know.
Much like that young Wigan supporter is about to find out.
Clearly, and of course on the ones and twos, we have producer Mel, who has yet to unmute herself to say hello.
I was just going for some good audio.
Oh, okay, well, hey, how about that? Produce me something. Good job.
Trying to produce your good audio since my voice is, I don't know, my voice is not much here.
Mine's being really weird today, too.
Well,
Occasionally, today, like, I'll just say something and it sounds like I'm about to cry.
Oh, well, it's
It's
mono.
weird. Huh?
What?
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can find us wherever you get your pods, and of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. As always, it is at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Or, as I always say, you can just drive your happy ass over here, as the case of our guest tonight. And we got to make sure we unmute him too as we're doing all this. See, look at that. Two things at one time. It's like she can pat her belly and rub her head, or rub her belly and pat her head. However it is she needs to do, she can do it. Mr. Geckel, how are you doing, sir?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me over. It was nice to see you guys at the Abbey this Saturday.
It was nice to see you at the Abbey. We actually had a job to do. You just were up early for fuck all reason.
And
Oh, you have two very large dogs, don't you?
I don't this week. That's why I'm here.
Yep, that's exactly how that works out. It's no responsibility. Wife's away, dogs are away. He's like,
Did she take the dogs with her?
They're at her parents' house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck
Spent
yeah.
a lot of
I
time
would, if I were you, I
back
wouldn't even go home tonight. I'd be right at the casino.
yeah. Hey,
Fucking, yeah.
Not even trusted to watch the dogs.
I'm getting a break. I am trusted to watch the dogs.
I was just still amazed by the whole point that after the game was over, he was like, let's go to Fells. Let's drink.
Yeah.
Come on. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's fucking party, man.
It's starting. I got 2 Guinness down me. It's time to go.
Let's go.
That's a very me thing to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't go running off with him.
The third kid actually made me responsible.
So I guess that's not you anymore.
I mean, it still is. I just did it at home where I could hold one of them for her.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep passion and love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Somebody fucked up and grabbed the wrong number 16, so the right number 16 is in the mail.
Yes.
So we're going to jump ahead to number 15, Mr. Graham. What are we drinking tonight?
Number 15 is the Old Elk Port Cask Finish. This one is a barrel strength 108.1 proof. Should run you around $100. And the panel rated it a 94. Somehow, looking ahead, it finished at number 15 with a 94 rating, but number 14 is only rated at 93. Interesting.
Somebody
Very
splashed the
interesting.
cash.
Okay. No, they didn't, because my incentives have dried up. I'll tell you that.
Well, maybe that's why, because that company decided to put all the
that's
money
true,
for
yeah.
getting that little extra spot. They went, you know what, Mr. Graham, you don't get the cash for a 3K
Yeah.
stack. We're going to go ahead and make sure we go from number 15 to number 14.
Exactly. So, all right. So we've got Old Elk, like I said, and Julia Higgins is the member of the tasting panel for Whiskey Advocate that brings you your blurb this week, and she writes, a high malt bourbon that's part of Colorado whiskey maker Old Elk's Cask Finish series. This dram kicks off with sugared grapefruit. I get that. Fruit roll-ups, not so sure. Cherry cola, yes. And vanilla bean creme brulee. The palate is redolent with spice and fruit, practically oozing with red berry compote. Yep. Cinnamon, cocoa powder, and a bit of nuttiness. I do on the finish get a lot of that kind of almond kind of finish to it. That's delicious. Add water, and those chocolate and cinnamon notes become even more vibrant. On the finish, there's candied sweetness and more spice, both also expanding delightfully with a dash of water.
My first, I know I've had a few sips of Old Elk, but I really haven't
Drank Old Elk yet.
This is bloody fucking delightful.
I like it a lot.
The ice has really opened it up a lot.
Yeah, big time.
It is really fucking good. Really fucking good.
What I was going to say is one of our close friends, one of the stores I call on,
Yeah.
All of You Liquors, Justin, isn't a huge fan of the Old Elk stuff. Because when I asked him about it, he was surprised that they got on the shelf, and this was one that he did not carry.
Yeah.
And I only found one SKU of Old Elk in his store at all. And I think this is actually quite approachable. Does not drink like it's 108 proof.
No.
It's excellent, but I also am a huge fan of port and sherry cask things, and this being a port cask finish, that chocolate, that baking spice is very prevalent, and then finishing with that nuttiness. I mean, one of the best things you can have is a glass of port or sherry and a bowl of almonds with your cigar
absolutely.
after dinner. It's just phenomenal. And this tickles my fancy in every way possible.
Blue cheese and port for me.
Blue cheese and port is very good. That's the only way I can eat blue cheese.
Right. I know you're not a fan.
Ben showed me that at Mount Airy.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of Old Elk on the shelf. We actually had to get one of my stores to order the port because I could not find the port anywhere. Like, I went to the 5 stores that I knew carried multiple SKUs of Old Elk. None of them had the port finish. Now,
consider this a copyrighted idea. Elk on the Shelf is a huge holiday campaign that this company missed. That for $40,000, I will sell you the rights to that idea.
Yeah, the DU,
Old
the
Elk,
DU
if
football
you're
show.
if you're listening, if you're listening,
merchandising. Spaceballs,
freelance,
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
be a
The kids love that
freelance
one.
marketing consultant.
Yeah, no shit. The one issue I've had with Old Elk and why I haven't gone and bought it off the shelf yet is the same kind of issue I have with Barrel. Like,
Very expensive.
well, and all the bottles look the same, and they at least say what the finishes are. But it seems like a lot of SKUs, like a lot of fucking SKUs. And for me, it's, kind of do what you do it well, right? And with this, I will say I will definitely try more Old Elk, and I think where you were talking about Portwood, I've had a few bourbons with Portwood before. It hasn't worked because the port is just a little too sweet with the
overall sweetness of the whiskey. Yeah.
Going high malt, which means malted barley,
Is massive. And
lends yourself to
time.
more of that kind of Scottish whiskey, which is all malted barley.
Yeah.
And that plays very well together.
It cuts down the sweetness of the corn in the initial liquid.
Yeah, it's bloody delightful. This is
I'm actually quite impressed after some of the reviews I had heard of standard Old Elk of the standard Old Elk line in general. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised by this.
This is one I would say if you see it on the shelf, just go ahead and buy it, guys. Like, it's worth the price of admission.
Yeah.
It really is. So,
Geck, what do you think about this one?
I thought it almost tasted like a rye. It had I really got that spiciness that reminded me of a rye. And like you said, the cube really opened it up. And it doesn't drink like 108 proof?
Yeah, 108. Yeah, no, it absolutely does. I wouldn't put it a drop of a percent over 90.
yeah. I mean, it was good neat. It was very good neat, and I was already impressed with it when it was neat. But on ice,
it seemed pretty one dimensional though. Neat.
Yeah.
Where that water, that little bit of water, just opened it up tremendously. I mean, the amount of spice I get off of it now is tenfold compared to what it was neat.
I could get in trouble with this bottle.
Yeah.
With a couple of just a tray of big ice cubes sitting in the freezer and this bottle.
Yeah.
It could be done in a night. That could definitely happen in a night.
Yeah.
All right. What else should we always do? Which is not what I just said I would do with this bottle.
Always remember to drink responsibly,
Of
everybody.
course, kids.
Nope.
That's
There we
cute.
go.
Y'all hit fingers. Wow.
I was trying to get
Y'all
it close
cross
to the
streams?
mic while I was cheering.
Did y'all cross
That's
streams
why
when
I'm
you pee
professional.
too?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
I mean,
we do.
always.
Sword fight.
Saves water. It saves water.
I want to be Han Solo this time.
We open with one of the biggest rivalries in English football. That's been on an 8-year hiatus. The Tyne Ware Derby.
Yes.
Newcastle 3, Sunderland 0. First and foremost, thank you very much to the Abbey in Mount Washington for letting us come in, set all up all our stuff, and of course, the Toon Army of Baltimore, the Mobtown Magpies. Thank you very much
The
for having us.
Mobtown Pika Pikas.
That's right. Pika Pika. Alan, thank you for setting everything up. It was a pleasure to come out. Great to meet everybody. Great to be there for a W because, quite frankly, that room was tense.
Oh, yeah.
Very tense until there was a goal.
Honestly, it was so tense that for the first segment, no one even knew that we were there.
They were just
and
like,
you
"Leave us
know what
alone."
what I will do is I want to, you didn't want to bring this part to the main show. We talked about that in the pre-production meeting. I am going to bring it to the main show because the amount of skill and discipline it took to ignore two charming motherfuckers like us needs to be acknowledged. Needs to be acknowledged and not necessarily celebrated, but you know what? Well done and mad respect.
Yeah, but I did love everybody. Not just everybody. Of course, it was dressed up in their kits and everything, but like one family came in. The mom had on the flag around her shoulders, and then like the popal hat as well. And Papal hat. I'm a fucking atheist.
I know.
You're the one. You're
I'm
the
trying
Catholic.
to help you out here, so God
It's
looks
not-
favorably on your soul.
No, you're not helping me at all. I don't care. Like I said,
Listen, in case one of them stents fail, I need you to be okay with the Lord because I'm not chasing you down to hell. I'll tell you that.
No, it's
I'm going to the river of whiskey.
No, it's like the movie Eric the Viking when the priest is in Valhalla and everybody's like talking about everything. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything here. What are you talking about? That would be me. But also, of course, one gentleman. This was fucking fantastic. Brought in a
lady of the plastic.
a tool of yore. The police actually have a
You mean a
song
blow-up
about,
doll?
Yes. The police have an old song about a blow up doll that's fucking fantastic.
Nice.
And brought it in and had it donned in a Sunderland kit, and her name was Magnus Neverprem. It was.
That's pretty good.
Swear to God, that's not the name he told me first. That's not the name I reported in the chats, and I was like, Never Cream. All right, that makes sense.
I didn't ask the
Everybody
question.
drank a lot of alcohol that morning.
A Newcastle fan had to buy a Sunderland shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure, Billy, you're watching in the chats. How did you get the Sunderland shirt?
I mean, everybody has
It's
to buy
like when
toilet
Kid
roll
Rock
from time to
bought the
time,
Bud
right?
Light to shoot it with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got to buy toilet roll from time to time, right?
Right, precisely.
That's how it goes. But you know it's fun. What I love about the cup, right? What I really love is the FA Cup brings out all these very weird,
eBay, $20.
so it was a knockoff at that.
Somebody already had bought it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. You know what he did? I'm sure it was a Chinese knockoff that he planned this from like November then. So,
Yep.
this is gonna come in handy one day.
One day.
I'm
6
hoping
years ago.
you're making assumptions that I'm not willing to make because I just assumed he just had it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he says no, it was new and it's real.
There we go. There we
So,
go.
but like Maidstone, which we'll come on to, obviously, there was a pitch invasion at the end of their game.
Just save
Dude
it.
dressed as a banana.
I was gonna say save it till we talked
Well,
about it.
I'm just saying, like, the cup brings out all these weird ass fucking, like,
Yeah,
why?
just
What's the point?
why?
Yeah, it's just great. I love it. Like, I would never in a million years, you know what? Blow up doll, Rivals jersey on it. Never think of that.
Hey, what was it with Borehamwood a few years ago? Everybody sitting out on the back porches, drinking a glass of rosé.
That was Chorley, wasn't it?
No. This was Borehamwood because it was.
It was when Spurs went up to play him.
No, that was Borehamwood that they played. Chorley played Derby County, and then they played Wolves. And lost to Wolves.
You're right.
So it was Borehamwood.
Yeah.
But just somebody sitting there on their back patio, drinking a glass of rosé, cut out of your good glop. Why? Don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I fucking love it. It's just like, what is happening right now?
Why not? Sutton United backup goalkeeper eating a pie at halftime.
Well, he got banned for
Yeah,
that.
we know
remember?
this.
Yeah,
Yep.
remember. That was nefarious. That one.
Sky Bet's got to get theirs.
Now, here's the thing. Let's focus a little bit more on the match. It was not just tense in the bar. It was tense on the pitch. There was no doubt about it. People don't understand that this is right up there. This is one of the five biggest fucking derbies in
the UK. Period.
In the UK. Period. These teams, these cities, fucking hate each other. They really do. And Sunderland, because they're in the championship and need to have people there, there was 6,000 Newcastle supporters there for that match. I mean, it was fucking insanity. But you could tell on the field it was cagey, very cagey, and Newcastle came to play. The pressure, they had all the pressure on Sunderland from the get go, and
Longstaff had two chances, like within the first 5-6 minutes or whatever it was.
And again, you could tell in the room, everybody's just like, "Fuck, we're not going to score."
It would have been nice. It would have been nice for Longstaff to get it, being a local lad as well, for Newcastle coming through their academy and all that kind of stuff. That would have been a very cool moment,
right.
To be able to see that. But I never got the sense that Sunderland were ever in the game, really. Part of that was because I didn't know who had the fucking ball, because somebody sanctioned both teams able to wear their stripes.
Yeah.
And that didn't come through on the TV very well.
Nope.
So for the first 15 minutes, I'm like, well, somebody
just a bunch of stripes.
One of them's got it. Yeah. I was like, I don't really know what's happening here.
Yeah, funny enough, and of course Newcastle will take the goal however it happens. Ends up being an own goal right near the end of the first half.
Talk about a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
This guy, I can't remember his name now off the top of my head for whatever reason. Dan Ballard. That's right, because I heard the joke today. It was the Ballard of the Mackies or whatever they call themselves up there. That was a dig.
Yes, that was a dig.
But bad day at the office for Dan Ballard. He ends up having the own goal, obviously. Before that, got let off the hook, got lucky with a drag down of Isaac, which should have been a penalty, in my opinion.
God. Well, of course, no VAR because it was in a championship stadium.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have just not been a penalty. It probably would have been a sending off because he flat out grabbed him and pulled him to the ground.
And I didn't really see a motion made towards the ball at all. So double jeopardy wouldn't have come into play because he didn't attempt to make a play on the ball.
It was absolutely last defender.
100%. So that happens. He gets let off the hook. Fine, whatever. I will not stop saying it. I know it's annoying, but I'm not going to stop saying it. There should be no VAR in the tournament or the League Cup, period. End of fucking story. Until at least the final or semifinals, because they're all at Wembley now.
Right.
Which is also bullshit. The semifinals should be either a two-legged affair or at a neutral ground.
Yeah.
The Wembley showpiece should be the final.
Right.
That should be the final.
Right. That should be the big deal.
Right. Getting there is the point.
Mm-hmm. That's how all the playoffs work.
Right.
Is you play to get to the final. That is at fucking Wembley.
Exactly. That's the showpiece. Anyway, the reason I say that is because, for instance, in Everton and Crystal Palace, VAR was used, in my opinion. Well, for now, my opinion may change in the next 5 minutes.
Well, just because you want to fuck with me.
Was used ineffectively, to say the least. And then in this game, didn't have it to be used effectively in the first place. So we had two games happening at the same time that were not at the same time. Everton was on Thursday. But my point is they played the same competition under a different set of fucking rules and a different set of fucking circumstances. And that's not okay. Mm-hmm. That completely undermines the integrity of the competition, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. So I will not stop saying that until it fucking changes, because it's absolute bollocks, in my opinion. The FA should either fucking pay for every stadium in the country to have VAR capabilities, or don't fucking use it.
Don't have VAR for the for the cup competitions.
For the cup competitions, period. If you have lower league teams involved in any capacity at that, no VAR. Bang.
Yeah.
It's fucked, in my opinion.
And you brought up a good point while we were there at the bar, that it almost felt like, because it was a Premier League ref reffing that match,
he didn't know what to do with his hands.
That he just, he just sat there and waited, because he's used to, I don't have to.
Yeah. It's like that picture with Ricky Bobby. Yeah. And he just
But with that in mind, it was almost like he was waiting for the eye in the sky to make the call for him. Well, no, you got to still be a fucking official.
You have to be the ref now again.
You are the fucking ref.
It
That's
can't
your
be
job.
re-officiated. Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
Call the game, and if you have because this is also a greater issue with the Prem as a whole right now, is call the fucking game, and if you made an egregious mistake, then the camera is there to tell you, hey, I think you got that one wrong.
Or just
make the call. Or make the fucking call.
Yeah. Or just be as confident as the guy at Cardiff City and Sheffield Wednesday. There was no hesitation. Both times, the attacking player that got fouled, that went down, he didn't even hit the deck yet. Referee's already whistling his hand, pointing at the spot.
So, obviously, Newcastle get the goal. They go up 1-0. You could already tell a little bit of relief.
Oh, you could feel the tension in the room kind of dissipate a bit.
But even Newcastle on the pitch seemed, because they came right out to start the second half, and again, another Sunderland mistake. Midfielder loses the ball inside the 18. Boom. What do you know? 5 minutes in, 2-0.
Yeah. It didn't take long, obviously, for that second goal to go in. And you almost got the feeling it was one of those that was, like, Sunderland had a couple of chances. Dubravka was forced into one or two saves. I think they clipped the bar at one point in the game. But the chances were so spread out because Newcastle had dominated the ball for the most part. Sunderland did make it a little difficult to play through the lines, but they really never made it, past 10 yards into the Newcastle half.
Right.
So it wasn't really threatening when they did get the ball for the most part.
It was disappointing, to be honest. You've got your rival who you've been played in 8 years, and you're at home, and they didn't have much of a sniff. Barely had the ball.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they forced Dubravka into one or two pretty decent saves.
Yeah.
But they didn't give a good account of themselves. I mean, this isn't the Sunderland we've seen in the Championship all season.
Right.
And you would know better than I. You watch the Championship a lot more closely.
They're in and around the playoff discussion. They were in and around the playoff discussion last year, so it's like... You thought they would have shown something.
Sure, Newcastle spent some money, but they're injured. They're dead tired. And they really haven't spent as much money as the PIF posse would have been able to spend under previous financial regulations. So they were facing, in terms of super club standards, a relatively mediocre side. You know, you look at what City did over what they're in trouble for now.
Yeah.
But you look at what they did over the first 2-3 years of that money coming in, versus what Newcastle's been able to do over the last 18 months. And it's two totally different sets of circumstances. I mean,
absolutely.
Dan Byrne is still getting games. Don't forget. You know, like that wouldn't be the case.
So infamous short Billy, by the way, he's your biggest fan right now. He thinks you're a goddamn genius.
Thank you. Is that sarcastic?
No.
Great.
He said Graham's a goddamn genius. He's going to be a general someday. I said his ego needs no help. He's happy to hear a pundit with common sense. He pointed out that they tried to play out of the back like a league match. They played more not to lose versus try to win and might get a bit low risk.
Yeah. I mean,
agreed.
Absolutely they did. But you could tell Newcastle had their kind of wind in their sails a bit, and they were up for it. They were ready to go. Also, I'm sure helped by the fact that the Sunderland ownership transformed the Black Cat Suite into a Newcastle-only supporters area at 600 pounds a head.
Yeah, just idiotic.
I mean, it's such like little brother stuff, but it all of it plays into the psyche and the emotion of what's surrounding the club and what's happening, and it's just utterly, kind of ridiculous. Sunderland they're obviously in bad straits the last few seasons, but they are a proud institution. I mean, but what makes these two clubs such bitter rivals is the similarities between them. Neglected in the north as a whole, right? One club towns. Yeah. They're only situated with 15 minutes apart, 18 minutes apart, something like that by car. Both working class towns. So a lot of what defines them is the essence of football in general, right?
At its core.
At its core, and that's what makes it such a special rivalry. And for Sunderland to now, it could be Elaine's distant cousin just not understanding since he's French, just not understanding what's going on here. Elaine from Seinfeld, okay, he's a Louis Dreyfus guy.
He likes to make Seinfeld references.
That's
a
a
thing
show
for him.
I haven't watched. I've watched episodes, but it's not like The Simpsons. If you did a Simpsons reference, I
Well, Julia Louis Dreyfus wasn't on that show, Geckel.
I know she was on Seinfeld. I know.
Do your fucking research, mate.
She wore an Orioles hat. I
Do
know
your
that.
listen. Don't listen to the animated media. Do your own research, bro. Okay.
Right near the end, they get the penalty. Isaac ends up getting the brace. Huge sense of relief for everybody. I even said to Alan at that point, I go, "Can you fucking smile now? You're gonna win the match." And he just he goes, "Yeah, we are gonna win the match."
Angrily, he said, "Yes, I can smile." Look.
What a fucking monkey off the back for Newcastle. Because
Absolutely.
here's the thing that we talked about how big of a rivalry this is. The last time they played, they drew 1-1. Before that, they lost 6 in a fucking row to Sunderland.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, so the only time, and I said this to you while we were at the bar, and it's because I don't particularly care for him in general, and I'm sure you'll get on my side with this. The only time I've ever actually been happy, because it's not I like watching it. I'm completely neutral. Don't really give a shit. The only time I've ever been happy to see Newcastle lose was when Big Sam was in charge. I think Big Sam was in charge, and it was like 3 managers in a row. Their first or second game was a Tyne Weir derby, and just to see his big fat face fucking sad on the sidelines, angry at the end of it, I fucking loved it. That's the only time I actually properly got behind Sunderland, is just because I just didn't care for Big Sam.
Right, because you just hated Big Sam that much.
Yeah.
But feelings mutual about that Big Sam. Not me, Big Sam. I like me. You like me. We all like me.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of one Big Sam and not so big a fan of the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Which one that
Oh, we'll wait till the closing statements and we'll find out.
So, Mr. Graham, you used to live in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Just got to tell you right now, I got this new pack from Stringer. It's this Maidenstone shit, and I put it right there, baby. Yeah. Right fucking there.
Oh, yeah.
The Stone, 1-0 at the Gallagher Stadium over Stevenage, baby. How about that shit?
It's fucking, it cost me a lot of money, but it was awesome.
Fucking
It cost me a
bananas,
shit ton of money, but it was
bananas
great.
already on the pitch, people sitting in the trees. Fucking, it had everything right.
Right there. It's everything that you want. It was one of those. Anyone that listens overseas might not be terribly familiar with these particular commercials, but anyone here, especially those two that live in the Midwest, will be very familiar with those commercials of the pop-up sheds that you can build out of aluminum and Q-tips or whatever, and hot glue, whatever they build. That's what the changing room setup looked like.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
then it had like a burnt wood sign that they got made down the DIY shop that said like the maid's corner or something like that, which was like for their suite section or whatever where the bar was.
Fucking brilliant.
The players made it because it's probably a woodworker of some kind.
Yeah, well, you're 100% right. They probably, and then donated it to the club for, can I get an extra 50p on my wages this week, sir?
The 6th tier of English football, non-professional, taking on a League One side. So this would be like a League Two side beating a Premier League side. Big fucking deal.
Big deal. 60, you know what else I got behind here? And I'm a fan of it. 69 places separated them in the Football League.
It was meant to be.
In the pyramid structure. Draw a heart around it, bitches.
Draw a heart. It ended up being Captain Sam Corn who buried the penalty at the end of the first half.
It's everything you want.
Oh, well, also because
Oh,
earlier...
shit, who's going to do it? Dad, we're playing fucking Stevenage. Who's going to do it?
Yeah, captain.
I'm
I
the
got this
captain.
shit.
I got it.
He's got
Fucking
tissue in his
Look at
nose,
me.
Yeah.
blood
Look at me.
goes-
Look at
Bloody.
me. I'm the captain now.
Fucking rag shoved up his nose because he's got a bloody nose. Fucking
And they also don't have a proper physio department. Just some bloke from an ambulance. They paid 50 quid to come.
like 15 minutes prior, there was absolutely, again, if there was VAR in that stadium, there was absolutely a Stevenage player who just turned his back to the corner kick, looked at the guy in front of him, wrapped his arms around him, and hugged him to the ground.
Yeah.
And no call. And then finally, like, there's a foul. The ref allows them to play on, and then there's another foul, which ends up being what gets called for the
And a
penalty.
worse one than the first
I
one.
better call that one.
Yeah.
Not just that, Sam Corn also knocks one off the goal line as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
Ball off the post at the end of the match. The fucking Lucas goddamn Kovalon. The fucking wall of defense.
The goalkeeper.
The one
Phenomenal.
on one fast break
Oh, yeah,
that
it was huge.
dead to rights and just didn't go down, stayed big, and then just got the arm up and knocked the ball
So
away.
The amazing thing about this, and you'll see this a lot too with these kind of ties that are so vast, especially when they're at the lower leagues ground, right? Artificial pitch. So artificial turf. No professional players used to that, right? In England, it's actually I believe banned in the top 4 leagues in England.
I believe so.
Completely. Not something they run into all the time. A lot of extra injuries are picked up on artificial pitches, that kind of stuff. Stevenage, you could tell, like, wasn't prepared for the way the ball was bouncing. They weren't prepared for a lot of those kind of things, right? And it is different. The ball reacts differently on those fields. Is it enough to lose 1-0 to Maidstone? Probably not. But you get these performances where people stand on their head, and their goalkeeper was absolutely one of them. And there was an absolute fucking barrage in the second half from Stevenage. And it just wasn't their day. And it was the Stones' day. And, they showed their huevos. They showed their goal and their determination, and they got there in the end.
Final whistle gets blown. Fans rush the field. Like
Banana.
It's the banana
Rushes the field.
running around.
It's just brilliant.
The magic of the cup truly is.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, but you know what I did fail to mention is the Willycopter from a Newcastle fan a couple years ago.
Yeah, oh,
when
God,
they
yes.
finally advanced past the first round, or the third round rather, the first that they were involved in for
Yep.
like 15 years. And in the Willycopter on
Yep.
at the top of the stairs and the stand behind the goal, you get all this weird shit, and I absolutely fucking just put it in my veins, man.
Yeah,
that's what I want. I want to see this because you're watching, you're like, oh, good for them. Wow, man, I lost my bet, but I don't really care. Like, this is great. Good for the Stone. And then, wait a minute, was that a banana?
This was also like a 20-leg parlay, so it was bound to lose eventually.
Only lost 2 legs that whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the Stone was the first
So
one.
it's the other one that fucked it.
No, the Stone fucked it first. It was already dead by the time the other one kicked off.
The next up for the Stone, they head to Ipswich, so will be a bit of a payday for them.
Yeah,
going to a championship.
A little
so
bit of a payday.
Not like it pulling a Premier League side, which
Right.
is what you kind of hoped they would have
But
gotten.
also, I would say a potentially winnable game.
Ipswich has looked pretty decent though this
I
year.
know, but by the time that kicks off, you got to think Leeds is hot on the heels of number 2.
Yeah, so
potentially.
Southampton as well.
They're still some distance away, but there is time to catch up. As we know, there are 4,315 championship fixtures left this season.
Absolutely.
So there is the ground is there to be made up, let's say. And when you come to mid-February or whatever it is, when the fourth round kicks off, Ipswich may have their attentions elsewhere and not really fucking care.
Yeah, don't
If
disagree.
that lead has shrunk to like 3 points, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Ipswich went, fuck this, we got to focus on the league, don't care. And Maidstone could have a chance.
I know this much. On Sunday, many a fireplace were thrown up in.
Especially the one in Fells Point where Geck was.
I still can that.
So it is time to chat about the rest of the Prem sides and how they fared in the Cup. We're just going to kind of talk about I'm not going to read all the score lines. We'll just say the score line and then talk a little bit about the game. It opened on Thursday with Everton traveling to Crystal Palace. Everton, interesting, is never, I think it's 13 straight. The last time they won in London in the FA Cup was in 1995 when they won the FA Cup at Wembley.
Nice. That's more like 18 years, but yeah.
But 13 attempts is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
But really, the game didn't have much in it. What it all comes down to,
I mean, Everton had the chances.
they
couldn't put them
absolutely
away.
did. They absolutely did. But what it really comes down to, it's Chris Kavanagh and the red card to Dominic Calvert-Lewin that was not even a foul on the pitch.
I don't know. I'm surprised.
Standing, like what, 5-10 yards away?
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
was
if it's-
standing right there looking
I
at
don't know
it.
how you can go from not calling a foul to it being a red card.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous.
Well, so what I will say is the law doesn't even require you to have made contact,
Right.
which is also quite stupid in my opinion. But so if you took what it is it's to cover people that, like, if I threw a punch at you,
Right.
and I didn't connect, they can still send me off.
Well, but ultimately, it's supposed to be
you should be-
violent conduct. Please tell me what in that foul that wasn't even called a foul was violent.
Well, I'm surprised nobody brought him a phone while he was looking at the screen so he could call Scotland Yard to get armed police down there, because it was attempted murder, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. I appreciate you trying to get my goat, but even you can look at that and just go, no.
No, I've done far worse than that and only gotten yellows.
Yeah. It just, what was even funnier is when Kavanaugh went to the screen, you know what's going to happen, right? The minute they say they're going to the screen, because we have yet to see this happen once, where they go to the screen and go, nah, call on the field stands. They change it every time.
Yep.
Every single time.
So what I will say,
Calvert-Lewin was just looking at him and just had like this face of like,
seriously? Yeah.
And then on top of that, he gets
And
a
just walked
free
away.
Match banned. That's like the punishment does not fit the crime.
I think they're going to probably appeal it and it'll be reduced.
we have appealed, but we haven't heard anything.
You won't hear anything for a day or two. It's not a working day. It was the weekend.
Well,
at the
what
time.
will ultimately happen is that they will go ahead, look at it, deduct us another 10 points and give those to City.
Here we go.
That is what will ultimately
You know,
happen.
this is the world's tiniest violin.
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and be conspiracy theorist. Chris Kavanagh was the VAR official in the Manchester City game where Rodri put up the arm and it hit the sleeve and they didn't call it a handball that ultimately won City the title instead of Liverpool. So mixed emotions about that one. But he was the VAR official and they didn't even look at it. They didn't even look at that handball. He was the official on the pitch when Gylfi Sigurdsson was called for
Laying on the ground
and blocking De Gea's view as a ball waist high went right.
And De Gea is 6'3".
Yeah, like that. He was the referee on the pitch when Hugo Lloris had grabbed Richarlison's ankle and pulled him down, and they didn't call the penalty because he barely touched the ball with his fingertip at the same time that he grabbed his ankle. He's also off your pop.
Off you pop.
Off you pop to fucking Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
For
was that him?
all of those
wow.
were him. All of
I
them
know
were
that
him.
smacks of Mike Dean, but I don't think it was Mike Dean. I think he's right.
But if you constantly look at that, because each one of those games are different teams they're playing, so it's not like he's favoring the other team because they're they're Liverpool or they're City. It was different circumstances every single one. Uh-huh. And you look at that and you're just like, man, that's a lot of fucking coincidences, man. That's a lot of fucking coincidences.
Follow the money.
Mm-hmm. Always follow the money.
Who's paid off his debts? Who's giving him trips? Who's taking him on rich vacations? Oh, wait. that's
Sky
just
Bet,
Clarence
probably.
Thomas.
Jesus Christ.
Keeping it rolling. They replay
quickly.
They
Jesus
replay on the
God.
17th back at
We're
Goodison.
going to get banned on YouTube again.
Yeah, no shit. Allegedly. Sattery.
But not really. Saturday.
Tottenham 1, Burnley 0. Really, Pedro Porro, the fucking goal of the FA Cup until Sunday
To
happened.
that point, yeah.
Until
Thank
Sunday.
you. I was about to. It was a throw
Fucking
down.
banger.
What I will say is this one was on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. It was Bamford. That's fair.
Honestly, it was a pretty shit game all around.
Oh, yeah.
Until that goal went in, and then nothing else happened after that. That was worth the price of a ticket, I'm sure, though.
Speaking of another shit game, Fulham beat Rotherham 1-0.
Basement club in the championship, and Fulham couldn't do more than that. Good strike by Bobby De Cordova-Reid, but that was all.
Brentford and Wolves had a 1-1 draw. They replay over the weekend because they're two of the teams that have the weekend off.
Right.
So they're now playing on Sunday.
So
in their
fuck
FA
your
Cup.
winter break.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
You
doing
have-
a replay.
You have a replay.
So Brentford, 80 minutes up a man can only manage a goal. They need Ivan Toney back in the worst way.
What is it, the 16th? He comes back or something? 24th, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I like Sam's thought. I don't think they sell him. I think they need him too badly.
Yeah, and the other piece of information there is that we can't afford $100 million right now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, we have some financial fair play stuff. That's why David Raya was a loan first with the option to buy in the summer.
Ooh, so you got to watch your finances, huh?
Yep.
What are you gonna try to buy one get one in the off season?
Could be, maybe a little Brentford BOGO.
Aston Villa beat Middlesbrough 1-0. Late heroics from Matty Cash, like literally at the fucking death. A redirected shot, but it was definitely, they gave the goal to Cash because
It was on target to begin with. I'm very happy to see Michael Carrick's sad little face. Former United player, fuck him.
And they're about to get dropped out of another cup, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although I think I like Michael Carrick better than Chelsea, which pains me to say.
Yes, Producer Mel?
Oh, I had nothing. When I hear Villa, I'm here on the ready.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, that was it. People in the Brian Greg Sideburns says it's not a conspiracy, just shitty roughing. Just saying.
Yeah.
By the same person over and over and over again.
Yeah,
To the
pretty
same
much.
club over and over and over again.
Chris Kavanagh does suck.
No, he's terrible.
One of the
He's
worst.
a
Yeah.
piece of shit.
But I mean,
Most refs are pieces of shit. Be honest, we were all players. Fuck them.
I'll even play
I
a
wasn't great.
little.
I ref.
There's no new year, new me. It's new year, double the fuck down. Fuck referees, fucking bastards.
We
I mean-
definitely need to get Kerry Brown on here.
Let's face it. Paul
Especially
Tierney.
him.
Paul Tierney has called some pretty controversial shit matches against Liverpool, and
Yeah, Stuart Atwell with us.
yeah, there's certain refs that just don't. It always seems to be the controversial calls always happen to your team with that fucking ref.
Shit ref show title.
Heard, I'm okay with that shit ref. That's politically correct.
Maybe
enough,
crap
and
refs to get
shit
around
refs.
the foul language.
Eh.
They just throw an
Chelsea
asterisk in it.
Chelsea get a big score line over Preston North End, beating them 4-0.
Yeah, it took a while though to really get going for Chelsea and find that second and third gear, but they did. Raheem Sterling with a peach of a free kick in that game. But other than that, I mean, Preston threatened maybe 2 times all day.
Yeah.
Chelsea were frustrated for a bit here and there. But like I said, once they finally found that second and third gear, it was tough to stop them.
Hey, Preston's been in and around it for the playoffs for the championship so far. So they're
Yeah,
not
but you
looking-
could also tell the
They're on a
teams.
massive downslide. Other than playing Leeds on Boxing Day, of course they beat us.
So I'm going to actually compare this real quick to Newcastle in the sense that you could tell what it meant to the two clubs that have had rough patches prior to this weekend, right? And the strength of lineup they put out against lower opposition, right? Now, obviously, Newcastle, it was the derby. You want to make sure you win that game. That makes total sense. No problem there.
right, of course.
But if you just look at it, take the derby aspect out of it. Miguel and Marone, their strongest 11 that was available played for Newcastle.
Oh, absolutely.
That's also all they have available.
Well, true. Just about the same thing here at Chelsea. And I heard somebody say the phrase, this was a nourishing win in reference to Newcastle because of the shit they've been through over the last month with a paper-thin squad and everything else. And then you look at Chelsea and just the results. They can't have a paper-thin squad because they have the squad the shape of a dictionary.
Yeah.
But it's a nourishing win in the sense that, you know, they had a comprehensive 4-0 like fuck you game,
Right.
which they should be capable of, but for some reason in the Premier League just aren't.
Yeah, they finally had one.
Right.
They finally had
So
one.
what I would say is even those against Preston North End is this is the type of thing that just gets you a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, get you
Also,
going.
Nice to see Broya get a goal coming back off his ACL tear.
Yeah.
And hopefully Chelsea will pay way too much money for some shit striker and he'll go somewhere and be fine. So that's what I'm hoping for.
You're hoping for him to go on loan to Leeds.
We're looking good at striker right now. We've got to revitalize Patrick Bamford.
One fucking strike and suddenly he's back.
Yeah, till his fucking headmistress at his private school turns up.
Brighton 4, Stoke 2. Stoke go up early, but then Brighton just say,
Get my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull, go fuck yourself.
It's like, we're Premier League. Get fucked.
Did you guys see the fourth goal?
oh, yeah.
I did.
Ben Hecky is he a striker or a center back? I couldn't tell.
Just
It was a fantastic.
cruising down the line. Yeah.
Now, it was like, you remember the bit of commentary about Tony Adams? I think it was in the league, and actually the celebration was the famous statue that's out front of the Emirates. But the commentary, if you remember, it comes to Adams. Well, what's he doing there? That's what I thought when I saw Van Hecky streaming
You're
through.
just going in like, what the fuck is he
Like,
doing?
why did he? Oh my God. That should be Alexis McAllister. Oh, wait, he's not there anymore.
Well, they was Stoke went up, and then Brighton got a couple, and then Stoke leveled. But then after that, just Brighton just bowled right over them at the end of it all.
Yeah.
And the problem was, as you said at the bar, it wasn't a Tuesday night in Stoke. It was
it seemed
Saturday in Stoke.
It was
So
kind of
just-
sunny on Saturday as
yeah,
well.
yeah, it was just,
It wasn't a cold, rainy night in Stoke, was it?
Exactly.
It was a balmy Saturday afternoon.
The Blades 4, Sam's personal favorite team, Gillingham. Don't
Fuck
call
the
me
Gills.
Gillingham. 4-0. Blades get 2 braces off of Usola.
McAtee's goals were excellent.
And McAtee.
McAtee's
McAtee
goals
even did a
were
little
excellent.
backflip
Yeah,
and everything.
I love it.
Feel a little cheeky.
I love everything about it because that's I think that's a relative. No, Gillingham's down in Kent, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're,
Yeah,
down in Kent. They're not.
down in
They're
Kent.
not near.
No, they're
Yorkshire.
nowhere near them.
No. All right.
And it means fuck all because the Blades are just
Nobody cares.
miserable
Yeah. Nobody
in
gave a
in the
fuck.
Prem.
Shit,
You know,
I mean,
Yorkshire
this
club.
is their best performance for 3 seasons. Nobody gives a shit about it.
You know what what could happen for Sheffield, depending on the draws that they get moving the rest of the way. If they get the right draws, maybe they can find themselves in the semis. You know, if they get the right draws, kind of thing.
Yeah, but they'll fuck that off.
Yeah. Bournemouth 3, QPR 2. Cherries storm back after going down 2-0 to QPR, and QPR is down at the bottom right now of the championship,
Yep.
having a hard old time. And when you talk about, you know, a good cup win, there's also bad cup losses. And for a team that's already just struggling and having a hard time getting going, and we'll talk about one of the other teams down there that got a really nice win later on. This is the kind of shit that just starts to spread like a cancer.
Yeah.
To lose one like this in your building, you had them.
Yeah, but you got to think Bournemouth are the form team in the Premier League besides Liverpool.
Of course,
So,
but you had them 2-0.
well, that I mean,
Put it away.
that's true as well. Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah.
Like that's you know what to do.
Shut
in
up
the cup.
shop. Stop playing so expansive.
Right, and it just ends up ultimately just biting him in the ass, which was a shame.
So we're talking about shit refs. I looked this up. Rebecca Welch was in charge of this match, and I did a quick Google search, and I saw a Twitter result popped up that said she's the best ref some guy on Twitter had seen all year. So somebody at least can show up and referee a match.
Yeah, I don't tell Joey Barton that he'll fucking
Please,
lose his
hold on.
goddamn mind.
Please tell me it wasn't in a sexual context.
No,
context.
like it's best referee I'd seen.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't like, oh, because of her tits.
No,
wasn't-
it wasn't.
thank God.
Yeah.
Good.
Bolton figure out what nobody else can. They go to Kenilworth Road and get a point and get the replay.
And get a 0-0 score
Yeah, a
line because
0-0
there's always
scoreline.
goals at Kenilworth Road these days.
And they get the
only
replay at the Reebok.
The only highlight of this game was Luton hit the post. And then ESPN moved on.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to
So
it.
couldn't be shit to talk about in this one, I guess.
Graham, you watched a lot of this one. Chat a little bit. I got the score wrong, I know, but we're gonna. They don't know that, so I can just keep talking.
Nah, fuck it. Mel's got to
he's-
keep it in now.
He's pulling a. Geck over here is pulling a fucking Graham, as I like to call it.
I only pointed. I didn't say anything.
West Ham and Bristol City drew 1-1.
Oh, yeah, they did, but you wrote 1-0.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Fucking pricks.
So there's a section of West Ham fans, right, that don't really need an excuse or need a real reason to be pissed off at David Moyes at the moment. Yeah, because they just hate the fucking football. They hate the way they play. And after going up relatively early, to not stand on their throat and put the game away so they could sub some of these players off and, kind of cruise.
And now have to play another fucking game.
Now we have to add another game to an increasingly busy schedule. Yeah. As, we're getting into when Europe's going to be coming back into season here shortly. All those sorts of things. To allow Bristol City, to come back into this and score that late goal and get the replay is just pretty stupid, to be honest.
A lot of that second half, even before the goal, was all Bristol City. Which you expect with West Ham. That's like they put like you said, you got to fucking put a foot on the throat.
But you're the Premier League side. You should be pressing that issue, getting 3-0 up, and then sitting back.
Right. Yeah, it just...
I will say Bristol City, I think, had the best limbs of the weekend. Those away fans went insane when they equalized, which is part of the magic of the cup.
Is anybody dressed like a banana?
I did not see a banana.
Well,
but that wasn't limbs. He ran on the field. That's different.
Well, that's true. Okay, he got himself involved. You're right. He wasn't on the outskirts. For those not in show business, that's what limbs mean. Okay.
City absolutely destroys Huddersfield Town. The key thing, we already talked about Kevin De Bruyne being on the bench earlier last weekend, but De Bruyne on the bench and Jeremy Doku also on the bench. It's like, they're getting fucking stronger.
Yeah, it sucks. And De Bruyne has only played 3 games this season before today. When he got hurt. He's still, for the calendar year of 2023, finished with the most assists in Europe.
Jesus. Unbelievable.
And Foden,
and it took him
another fucking brace for Foden.
17 minutes for him to come in and get an assist.
Yeah, exactly.
17 minutes in this game. And it's just like, you just look at it and you go, well, here we go again. They're about to be fucking ruthless. Because
it's hard, yeah.
You still got Haaland coming back as well. And so, like, for the Premier League, it just doesn't shape up well. For Arsenal specifically, it just doesn't shape up very well for the second half of the season.
I'm looking at my watch. It's about time Man City win about 15 in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and
fucking annoying.
And you look at it and it's going to be like Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish aren't going to get playing time. And the two of them have had really good seasons this season.
Well, Jack Grealish didn't start well because he was still drunk from
but
Tenerife or wherever he was following the Champions League final for 2 months.
With Doku coming back, with De Bruyne coming back, Foden is an absolute fire right now.
I feel like he was in Ibiza at Wayne Lineker's bar for ages.
Alvarez, when you get Haaland back, they're going to figure out a way to get Alvarez in the lineup. He's scoring goals. He's doing the job.
They've been playing together. He's dropped into midfield a few times.
Yeah, so
and what a deft little touch that was. That is literally the only place he could put it, and no one could get to it, especially with the speed the ball was moving at. Alvarez's goal, absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you saw it. Just got a stud to it. But it was absolutely pinpoint accurately placed where nobody could fucking figure out what to do.
Forest 2, Blackpool 2. If you don't know from last year, Blackpool beat the fucking shit out of Forest 4-1 in their building last year in the FA Cup.
And they were 2-0 up in this game.
Yeah, they were.
And Forest had to claw their way back, and it was a pretty good effort on Forest's part, to be honest. But
one of the goals, an ex-Forest player.
And he apologized.
Yeah.
So I heard this today too. It was a friend of the person I was listening to. That had the quote, and obviously the show I was listening to, they brought it to the table. It said that he's been a Forest fan his whole life. Never heard of this dude. Apparently, he only made 5 appearances. Like, spent a little time with their academy, made 5 first-team appearances, probably in some obscure, preliminary round of the FA Cup or League Cup or something like that. And he was like, I don't remember this person at all, this player. And, doing the apologizing, doing the... I'm sorry. So either the Ford, like he's a boyhood Forest fan, spent time in their academy and whatever. But I feel like I would probably give it the big licks.
Right.
Fuck you for letting me go. I'd pull my pants down. What do you think about that?
Copper.
This is the big dick you could have had, you motherfucker.
An Adebayor.
Yeah. Do an Adebayor. Exactly right.
Liverpool 2, Arsenal 0. Mr. Graham.
Another frustrating day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what an
Especially with the start.
own goal, and then a late one right at the end because
but
you were pushing.
We should have been 3-0 up by 25 minutes.
Yeah,
Again, we couldn't finish our chances. We blitzed them to begin with, the same way we did in the league a couple of weeks ago, and we couldn't finish our fucking chances.
yeah.
It's just really, it's frustrating. It gets really frustrating.
I'm gonna start to pour here for you, so pick your poison, sir.
No, you surprised me.
Surprise you.
I'm gonna cover my
Jack,
eyes.
you are not allowed to have regular, my lord. He's gonna do one with you because, well, he hasn't been here since Leeds got relegated. So your choices are either the barrel or
Don't say it out loud.
Pumpkin. Which one do you want, Gak? Got it.
So it was just a very frustrating afternoon for Arsenal. Liverpool were always going to have their time in the match. I mean, that, you expect that with every side. Even against City, Arsenal have, 10 minutes of dominance. You know what I mean? Like that always happens. And Liverpool were more efficient with theirs. It was a fucking phenomenal ball by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kivior didn't know anything about the header, obviously, that went into his own net. And then Luis Diaz just fucking Hulk smashed one in the top corner.
All right, Mr. Graham, you can open your eyes again.
As a small club, when you got chances, you got to put them away when you're playing the bigger sides.
Did Championship Gecko fucking say this to me right now?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Haven't been in the Premier League for 21 years or whatever it was until
Just
last
1 year.
Till 2 seasons, and then,
I blocked that out of my mind.
Okay. I didn't.
Allow me to go ahead and play this.
Hello, this is David Geckel from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a Leeds United fan. And we're back, bitches, and we're never fucking leaving.
Until you
And
did.
you're listening to the DU Football Show.
I meant the football league proper, obviously.
Fucking hell.
Because remember, when it all fell apart the first time for him, they almost went all the way out.
So I found this out the other day, which I didn't know. So Arsenal obviously hold the record for not being relegated in Europe, and actually now in, I believe, world football now, for consecutive years in the top flight. Because at the end of the Clausura, Santos got relegated. Pele's old club got relegated from the Brazilian top flight.
Brazilian top flight was insane this year. We don't have enough time.
Their fans took it well. Lit 2 buses on fire and a police car outside the stadium and basically rioted all the way home.
Or as we locally like to call that, pulling a terrapin.
Yeah.
Because we at College Park, we're fucking classy like that. We burn couches in the street, bitches.
Spartans too, baby. Spartans too.
But only when we win.
Yeah.
Only when we win. There is some questions from our
Please.
new listeners in the chat.
Absolutely.
Please.
Wondering about the Malort.
Oh, okay.
Pumpkin kind of smells nice.
Okay, so
So it's pumpkin.
for
that's what
those of
mine
you
is.
who do not know, we'll pull out the original here. This is Jeppson's Malort liqueur. It is a Polish bitter made in Chicago. This is the challenge shot of all challenge shots. When you ask what is a challenge shot, think Jägermeister, right? Like what is the 4 wise men, that kind of thing, right? That's the
4 horsemen.
The 4 horsemen. That's the big.
Of the apocalypse. And it is. I puke every time I have that.
So the
the 3
idea
wise
is
men?
it's something.
No, it's. We'll get to it in a second.
Jack,
Finish this.
Jim, Johnny, Jose.
Yeah.
So it's the 4.
Like, yeah, before.
The Malort is widely regarded as the worst tasting alcohol in the world.
Yes.
Voted
3 out of the last 4 years or so.
I like to refer to Malort. My description of it is if earwax threw up.
Yep.
Because it tastes like earwax, and most people will take a shot of it and they'll be like, "Oh, it isn't that bad." And our first reaction from all of us is we just look at you and go,
Wait for it.
Wait. Because after
bile.
you throw
The bile comes up.
after you throw back the shot, you get that big earwaxy thing, and then within about 30 seconds, your entire throat fills with the taste of bile, like you have thrown up. and it stays with you for a good 10
And
minutes.
You don't get used to it. You can't build up a tolerance to it. It's just there. And if you do, well, we've got curveballs.
So
and we've got varieties of
so
the Lord.
we all agreed early on that, and this was actually HR, Russ's idea, that every time our team lost, a good godly man, a good Christian man decided this would be great.
Damn it, Ross.
The moral barometer of our universe is the one who went, yeah, every time your team loses, do Malort. It'll make me giggle when I listen to your show.
You know what? Now I'm starting to put everything together here. Speaking of conspiracy theories, Russ does the sound for his church, so he's able to record Jesus, but forgot to record us that night. Wow.
So, as Mel mentioned, because we're gluttons for punishment, there is the original Malord, and then I, on a whim, spent entirely way too much money, $150,000, on
something went to charity. It's
a distillery-only release for the Jepson's company. They do seasonal ones. This is the pumpkin spice Malort, because who doesn't want earwax? Like, if earwax threw up, that tasted like pumpkin spice.
And for those of you wondering how we got a distillery-only release when the distillery's in Chicago, you should never underestimate Sam and my's ability to get what we want.
If we want it, we will get it. And then this one is the barrel-aged Malort. And the barrel-aged Malort
actually got released here, and I just got it from Mount Airy.
Right, because his store just immediately took a bottle and put it aside and went, Graham will want this.
They took an entire case, and then I walked in, and that was on the special order shelf with my name on it.
Because
they were like, "Hey, you want that, don't you?" And I was like, "Sure do."
Yep. So
yes, please.
It's nice to have friends.
So, boys, why don't you go ahead? Every time you lose, Gecko's doing it simply because his team got relegated and hasn't been here since.
To the Magpies, the Mobtown Magpies. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it is in a Newcastle shot glass.
Yeah, they're not a dumpster fire anymore. We might have to rethink these.
Okay, well, we'll get something new.
It starts out like a drink that you would want, and then it's Malort.
Yeah. Pumpkin. Yeah, the pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
I gave you the barrel age, Sam.
Now, I remember the first time you had the barrel aged, Sam, you said it was better.
It was.
It's a relative comparison.
But better is relative. Exactly right.
Which also inspired a new Patreon listener, Jared Hicks, to go out and buy a bottle of the barrel-aged Malort and do a shot on our closed group. And, Sam, should somebody want to check out our Patreon, how do they go about doing that?
It's really easy, actually. Patreon.com/The Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier.
Yeah, very good.
And you can get all of our extra content. There's the bile. Right there.
I wanted to throw the, is it barrel-aged bile?
Yeah, it's vanilla bile.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I wanted to throw it to you in that moment to see how good of a professional you were, you know.
I got it done, didn't I?
Yeah. And closing it out, Manchester United 2, Wigan nothing. Wow, United didn't fuck it off.
Yeah.
Sure money.
Nope, still have one more segment.
Well, I don't have a printout, so I wouldn't know.
You told me you didn't need one.
No, I said I didn't need one for the EFL show or injury time.
I
Never
specifically asked about this one, and you said no.
All right, can we do this off air and just do the right thing?
Yeah,
push the right button. You fucking asshole. For once, I try to use my pin pen and get fucked off. Come on.
Not like I do this every week. Rounding out the rest of the notable third round matches in so that happened. Sheffield Wednesday beat Swansea beat I had a couple of I thought I had I thought it was opening with Sheffield.
You did a couple of very weird abbreviations here.
Actually, well, no, I removed.
I don't even see Sheffield on here.
Yeah, I had removed Sheffield Wednesday, but they won 4-0, and that was one
Their
that was
keeper
kind
saved 2 penalties.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So the interesting fact about that game, since we brought it up, even though it's not on the sheet,
it was supposed to be on the sheet. I don't know why I removed it.
Cardiff had 22 fucking shots, 2 pens, lost 4-0.
Championship football.
Well, And there's the difference when we were talking about teams. Like, that's a team that's also in the relegation zone.
Yeah.
That's the kind of game that might catapult you, where the QPR loss might be the one that tanks you.
Right.
Sheffield's got a new manager. They've gone from shitty to like mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like golf. Like the old Lewis Black joke about golf. It's the only sport you start off and you're worse than shitty at.
Right.
And then you spend 10 years and $10,000 to get
Become
shitty.
Just to be shitty. Here's where I was actually supposed to start with was Swansea City beating Dix out for Morecambe.
Morecambe.
We know it's Morecambe, but we'd like to say Morecambe.
Yeah, because of Harambe, if you're familiar.
Shrimps out for Morecambe.
It's the funniest thing to me. Like, anytime someone says dicks out, it's just like, why? That's not a salute. It's not a show of respect. But it's just so funny. It's just like, oh man, there he goes. Like the hearse is passing by, and you just pull your cock out.
So Swans,
Fucking, my man. Like you put a little salute on the head too. Like I just, that's weird, man.
like
But
break off
so
a little
fu-
GI Joe
Yeah.
arm and like tape it to your dick going. Like,
It's just so fucking funny to me. Dicks out for whatever. I love that.
Swans win under new head coach Luke Williams. What is important to note about Luke Williams is former Swans
He
player.
won Eurovision.
He was the manager of Notts County that this past season in the National League, them and Wrexham ended up both with over 100 points and ended up taking penalties over Chesterfield for Notts County to ultimately advance back into League Two. And in League Two, they're in the top 10. They were doing well. So it was kind of a big pull for them to get Luke Williams to come over to Swans in only 2 days and come out, get a nice little win, which was good to see. Watford 2, Chesterfield 1. Chesterfield had a 1-0 lead. They held on till the 76th minute, and then Watford just took over and eventually won.
They had a couple of chances for a second and didn't get it. And for real, like, your small team playing away, you don't get that second goal. You'll just, the winner for Watford was class.
Yeah.
Deli Bashiru had a nice fake, top of the box, just coolly slotted it away in the 90th plus 5th. Tough way to go out for the non-league side.
Yep. Blackburn 5, Cambridge 2. Cambridge went up twice, and then just Blackburn just rolled.
Yeah, they did. And they actually respect rules and laws in Blackburn. Sponsored by a vape company. They had a 15-year-old come on, not old enough to vape. Doesn't even have a sponsor on his kit.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking brilliant. Well done.
Go figure.
Yeah. Unlike Wigan,
only
who just
the
has their 10-year-olds vaping in the crowd. Blackburn subbed on a 10-year-old. Nah, son, you can't wear that. Let's get you a replica kit from the shop.
Only in the championship.
It's fucking,
man.
it's fucking
only
brilliant.
In the championship.
Unfortunate for Cambridge, though. I mean, they really did give it their all, but Blackburn just had too much for him.
Yeah.
Sammy Smotic with a hat trick in the first half. I believe the only hat trick of the third cup.
I think the third round. Yeah, I think that's right.
Plymouth Argyle 3.
Also, I'm sorry, Sam. Somebody named Sigurdsson had a couple of assists in that as well, and then scored a goal. And I was like, no fucking way they let him out of prison.
Different Sigurdsson.
Different
Yeah.
Sigurdsson.
Plymouth 3, Sutton 1. Argyle take care of the 4 tiers, the worst team in all of professional football. Sutton.
Yep. Well, that's what you get.
And the rewards a trip to Ellen Road.
Yep.
Somehow a home tie for Leeds.
Newport County 1, Eastleigh 1. Here's the interesting one. Newport has the lead, goes up 1-0. Eastleigh go down to 10 men.
Yep.
Fight to stay alive, get a penalty at the fucking death.
It was excellent.
To have the replay back at their building.
Yeah, that's not as big of a coup as you think it is. Because remember when City went to Newport County and they played on that potato patch that hosted the monster truck rally the night before.
Right.
Only won 3-0, and it took them till the 65th minute to score. So they're going to be used to playing on potato patches, and Eastleigh can't do anything about that.
I just remember the very next year when West Ham went there. And it was pouring down rain, and it was like West Ham's wearing the all black, like sharp as fucking hell kits.
Yeah.
pouring down rain. Someone shoots off fireworks in like the first 10 minutes of the match. And by the end of the match, West Ham is dribbling down a sideline, and it's just standing water. And you can just see the ball stop rolling as if, like, literally 3 inches of water.
They just start floating.
It just too fucking funny.
You know what wouldn't have happened? Ben K was there. It wouldn't have happened.
It would not have happened.
You know what happens on Ben K's watch?
What?
10-year-olds vape. Wonder how early Ben's kids got their vapes. Think they got them for Christmas this year. He's a Wigan lad.
Well, next time we have him on the show, we are definitely going to have to ask him that one. Leicester 3, Millwall 2. Foxes are just cruising, man. They're just cruising.
I mean, they were well up in this game as well. Millwall did all right to fight back.
Mm-hmm.
Fight back being the operative word because that's what Millwall does. But Leicester was just too much for them. I mean, they're honestly the cream of the crop in the championship, and this is just essentially for them an extension of the championship in this game, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do.
And they've been rotated a bunch of their guys, and
who Leicester have?
Yeah, and then pretty easy work at Millwall.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and talk about your team, Mr. Geckel. Leeds win 3-0 over Peterborough, and Peterborough has been on a tear. The Posh have been playing really well, and Ampadu wearing the captain's armband for you guys now.
Wearing the captain's armband, and other than Patrick Bamford pulling the weight with the goals department, he tripled his tally from 1 to 3.
Yeah, exactly, with the brace.
Career.
Why'd you go all Flushing Queens there? The captain's armband.
I don't know. I just was thinking about Bamford's goal, and I just got a little.
Got a little excited there.
Klimt.
But
discuss.
Yeah. Leeds have had some terrible luck. Well, terrible performances in the third round against lower opposition, and really Peterborough matches up well with I think anyone in the lower reaches of the championship.
Mm-hmm.
They've struggled away this year. They dominated the first 10 minutes of the match. Then Peterborough started getting back into it. And then they scored in the 35th minute. It was kind of a weird set piece where Peterborough kind of froze for some reason. And Ampadu just pounced on a terrible Bamford touch, but he was right there for the finish to go up 1-0. And then, so at halftime, I'm thinking, all right, got the goal. So just got to come out, step on their throat early. And I think it's the 47th minute.
Jesus.
I see a long ball up to Bamford. He chests it, and he turns and nails an amazing volley.
From what, about 25 yards out easily?
And it goes in the net, and it takes me like 10 seconds to go, oh shit, that went in. Oh shit, that was Bamford. Oh shit, that was the greatest goal I've ever seen in my life. Oh shit. Breaking news. It's not the Puskas anymore. It's called the Bamford.
So I'm glad you said that. So there's two things here. First, he did very well to recover from a super poor first touch. Because I'm going to tell you this, he ain't mean to do that. He meant to strike the ball the way he did, yes. But that first touch was not meant to do what it did. And he reacted to it very well. It reminded me of the very blatantly obvious on-purpose Thierry Henry goal against Manchester United, where he had his defender on his left shoulder, flicked the ball up with his right foot, turned and smacked it past Fabian Barthez years ago. Yeah.
Of course, you got to bring it back to Arsenal.
Into the far corner. And
always about a pro-Arsenal agenda.
That was fucking on purpose, so it should be known as the Henry. But I also saw a meme.
Peach of a goal.
It was. It was a good goal, don't get me wrong, but that first touch, he fucked up.
What else is he supposed to do? He took it on his chest.
Take it down, which is what he was trying to do, but it popped up over his head.
He gave him
it was
enough,
a terrible touch.
It gave him he had to jump to chest it. It gave him enough time to turn and shoot.
That is not his plan going into that, I promise you.
It is Bamford, so you probably are right, but
it's the goal of the cup.
Oh, it was an excellent goal.
It's
I'm not saying
incredible.
that. I'm just saying that Thierry Henry's was better because he meant it. Is all I'm saying. Every piece of action in Thierry Henry's goal years ago was on purpose.
He wasn't in a title game, was it?
No. Although I do believe we won the title that season. That had happened. Anyway, because we did beat Manchester United that day 2-1. I think that was the winner, actually. Anyway, besides the point. Pushka's part of this. I saw a story today in my kind of weird football groups I'm in that George Best, Dennis Law, and Ferenc Puskás were in Australia coaching a clinic, and Puskás
We're in the
was
same group. I saw this too.
You saw this also, and Puskás was older, bit fat now, right? And George Best is there, Dennis Law is there, and all the kids were making fun of Puskás because he's older and fatter and all this kind of stuff. And the other two players obviously took exception to this, and they decided to challenge the kids to a crossbar challenge, but they got to pick the coach that they went against. And almost everybody picked Puskás. We want to go against Puskás because he's old and fat. Mm-hmm. And they didn't really know who he was, obviously. Being older and Hungarian was kind of unfashionable, you know, what have you. I think he's Hungarian. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
And I couldn't remember if it was Romanian or not for whatever reason. Brain fart.
He was part of those really good Hungarian teams in like the 60s.
That almost won the World Cup.
Yeah.
That were excellent. So was Hristo Stoichkov. He featured as a teenager in those.
He was Bulgarian.
I'm just making fun of his age.
Okay.
And random Eastern European, very technical players. Anyway, he's so they all pick Puskás because he's old and fat. Mm-hmm. And they do the crossbar challenge. And they were like, how many do you think he's going to get? Dennis Law and George Best are asking the kids, how many do you think he's going to hit the crossbar? And he said, 3, maybe 4 at the most. And they were like, what do you think? And George Best was like, 10 out of 10. And he's stepped up, smashed 9 across the against the crossbar. And the 10th one said that he juggled up, hit it with both shoulders, turned, and backheeled it, and it crashed off the crossbar. And one of the kids turns to George Best and goes, who is this man? And he goes, to you, he's Mr. Puskás.
Mr. Bamford. If you're
Mr. Accidental.
Fucking brilliant. We're going to skip one because I feel like that's the better one to end on. West Brom knocked out Aldershot Town. The shots go out, so that's only leaves one non-league side.
One quick thing about West Brom.
Yeah, yes.
So Daryl DK, American striker, 9 months out, scores. Mm-hmm. And this is West Brom winning isn't magical, but somebody has a chance to come back and regain some form.
Yeah, it's always good.
Patrick Bamford.
He's been out since the last time they were in the Premier League.
So the Stone is the only non-league side still in the cup.
Yes.
And the final one we'll talk about here.
Wait, hold on. What'd you say?
The only non-league side still left in the cup. Well, Eastleigh has a replay. Maidstone. But Aldershot is out and Chesterfield is out. That's what I was saying. They are. That I was saying Maidstone was the only team left.
Yeah. Correct. Okay.
Eastleigh could still be in the cup, but they have to play a replay.
You know what's sad? There's just no more shot. So just beer for the rest of the FA Cup now.
Heard. And then finally, an interesting one. We were talking about this.
Was it low-hanging fruit, Mel? Is that why you're disappointed in
We
me?
were talking about this on Injury Time, Sam, which was Wrexham versus Shrewsbury Town, and we didn't think much into it. Come to find out, it's actually a cross-border rivalry. The two towns sit
not far apart,
right on the England side and the Wales side.
Yep.
And apparently a long-time rivalry that we did not know about.
Yeah, it's actually, just about as far as that husband and wife. One was Jewish, one was Catholic, in the neighboring cemeteries that had the headstones built to have hands holding across the wall.
Aw.
Did you ever see that picture?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it was a very famous photo of I think it was a Jewish woman and a Catholic man, and the cemeteries bordered each other, and they had a wall built between them, because that's the best way to keep the spirits out, David. And let's just build that wall up, right? And they had headstones built higher than the wall, and on top of the bell tower portion of the headstones, they had hands reaching out and holding above the wall, so they were holding hands eternally.
Love it.
That's beautiful.
The interesting thing about this,
they're closer than that.
I would. Here's the interesting thing is
It's a long way to get there, wasn't it?
Everybody was expecting for Wrexham to kind of impressively win, and this was all Shrewsbury Town. They really owned a lot of this match, especially in the
Wrexham-
first half. They should have been up.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But Wrexham did have a fair few chances.
No.
And I think Paul Mullen should have been sent off.
No, don't disagree. Don't disagree.
I forgot. I watched some of the highlights, but I don't remember what he did.
I forgot.
Yeah. I didn't mark it down in my brain.
Thanks for coming.
Maybe
Appreciate you being here.
I'm just a Hollywood apologist.
Hey, Mel, how about we hit the right button this time?
Sure money.
Fucking brilliant. Gek, what do you think? I don't know.
I watched
Fantastic.
that, yeah.
I think we updated everybody on what we did last time, right? Because I don't remember what it was. So Sam,
Exactly.
what do you have coming
well,
up
you're-
for this abbreviated week?
Well, your Gunners had fucked me, and that puts me down $239.
And that Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Nobody will know, but third time's always a charm. Geckel, did you know that 21.052632% of the time works 100% of the time? All right, I am going to take a 2-game parlay of road favorites. Give me Spurs and City to beat United and Newcastle for plus 371.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Did he email us?
Got nothing from him. I texted him. No answer. Nada.
Probably
to take over for Pat.
Probably black. You know what? Yes. You know what, Mr. Geckel?
Michigan won.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, I wonder.
Fucking cunts.
Hold on, I got to see if my bet hit.
Spoiler alert.
Well, since Graham's more focused on seeing if his bet hit or not, as opposed to running his segment that he wanted so badly.
No, tell us whatever you want
why
to
don't
tell
you
us about
tell
your...
us what bet are you going to make for us this week?
So I looked at this yesterday, so the odds may have changed. So Brody, don't, call me out. But I've got a trio of championship favorites. And most of the reason I'm doing this is to help Leeds, because I never win bets. But I've got...
So we're holding Pat accountable for this, right?
Yeah, hold him accountable.
Perfect.
I've got Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton to all win. And that paid out a tasty plus 488.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
So if they all lose, it helps Leeds. If one of them loses, it helps Leeds.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's the reverse psychology thing.
And helps us, because Pat loses.
Yeah, very good.
Brian in the chats has to head to bed, but he says he had a great time tonight, and not every road leads to the EPL. Night, gentlemen. I like that. Leads.
I got
Get
it.
it.
Nice.
Get it.
I
Did you
got
get the
it.
joke?
Yeah, I got it.
I like that he's signing off literally about 4 minutes and 15 seconds before the end of
Like
the
the
show.
show is practically over.
I'm the fuck out. I can't deal with it.
I don't want to hear Graham's rant.
Yeah, I don't need to hear about fucking stolen wages in Baltimore. So what I've got here for you is a 4-game parlay. It's gonna pay me a shit ton of money when I hit it. I have all this weekend, which is good. I've got Friday's game, Luton winning away at Burnley. I've got Chelsea winning at home to Fulham, because I think they're gonna ride that wave of the cup. City winning away to Newcastle, because they've got De Bruyne back, and I think he's gonna start this one. If I was a betting man, which I am. And then I have the oldest fixture in professional football to fuck you both in at a draw
Very good.
between Everton and Aston Villa at Goodison Park. And that 4-pick parlay pays me $3,376 on a $100 bet.
Wow.
And that is what I'm going to do. And I also, so you can see my DraftKings, have a all sport no sweat bet, $5. I might just go ahead and place that bet now.
There we
We'll be in
go.
Idaho for that match.
Yeah, we will be. We will be in Idaho for that.
I'll be in a hoe too. I mean, psych. JK.
I'm gonna tell her that.
I didn't say it was her.
I'm definitely gonna tell her that.
Slide.
You
It's
know
a
we're live
joke.
right
It's
now.
a joke. This is comedy. It's something.
Let's just say that.
Aren't you mad you went to bed now, you twat?
Let's just say somebody's ghostwriter is pulling a Geckel because we have a chicken.
Fucking hell, man.
Well,
All going wrong for Mel.
Kitty, my voice. Kitty missed. Hold on.
Can't talk, can't hit right buttons. Just a fucking
You know
mess.
what? Can I be fired?
Best
No.
cold reader in the
Can I be
business.
fired?
Nope.
Please?
No, you got a lifelong contract there,
Damn
dear.
it.
Sorry.
Gonna sign you to an extension.
I want to raise.
Hey, let me
She
see.
can't
Hold on.
produce the show as a ghost.
0 times the 3% growth carry the it's still fucking 0.
You're still getting an inch of penis.
cost of living wage, no, still 0.
Kitty missed on Arsenal and sits at 12-6. So this week, I gave Kitty Aston Villa heading to Goodison to face Everton in the second leg of the marriage-ending derby.
If we could only be that lucky.
Now, Kitty showed me the now famous picture of Douglas Luiz and Ashley Lehman announcing they're back together. Now, if you focus in closely, you can see Kitty in the background. She is a certified therapist. Gecko.
Yeah, comma
yeah.
Geckel. You know, you're supposed to tell. She's a certified therapist, Geckel, because we already know she's a certified therapist from lore on the show.
This,
Kitty does everything. I know that.
this.
It's pitiful. You're goddamn right.
Are we done yet? Is it midnight, motherfuckers? This, coupled with the fact that Kitty has never picked Everton because she's smart, Kitty is picking Villa to win. Please remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Get it the fuck together, Sam.
Yeah. I was about to say, I ain't fucked that up. So you better be careful, bro.
All right,
I'm done.
that is gonna wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, so for those of you that are new to the show, obviously we have some new people checking the show out on the streams, and I'm sure that are going to be listening tomorrow. Sam and I and Mel obviously kind of have a mantra, D-back. Don't be a cunt is what it stands for.
We even have a mascot.
The D-back bear.
If you look carefully on our
bear.
if you look carefully on our sticker, it's on our mug.
Correct. And basically, there are people that we find in sport and throughout life that are cunts. And the whole idea
AKA Joey Barton.
that we figured out is if you wake up every day with the sole purpose and reasoning for your day to just try to not be a cunt, usually everything turns out okay for you. And so that became our mantra.
Yeah, just wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and go, today,
I'm not going to be a cunt.
I'm not going to be a cunt. And it'll be all right.
So Gecko was nice enough to share this story with us. Apparently, I did not go searching for them, but in the comments of that story, there were the shared corroboration emails from the brewery. But if you'd like to name and shame, it's your story, bro. If you don't want to name and shame and just say a local brewery, that's perfectly fine by me. But you tell us the story you found us.
Yeah, I'm gonna name and shame because you should fucking pay your employees, or at least pay them what you say you're going to pay them. So it's Mobtown Brewery, which is the closest brewery to my house. It was the closest brewery to Sam's house before he left the city of Baltimore. But they've paid back over $150,000 in lost wages to current employees, not former employees, who they fired the first person who brought it up and made up some bullshit. And so this was a Reddit post, innocent until proven guilty. But
the brewery has since admitted that they fucked up.
Right.
Basically, they were promised a $15 an hour wage, the national or the state's minimum wage now, $15 an hour, plus tips. Where tipped employees previously were only supposed to receive about $3.06 an hour,
Right.
which we're both super familiar with,
Oh,
having
God, yeah.
come from the restaurant industry. They found out that they were using those tips to supplement the $15 an hour, and it wasn't plus the tips.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they
not
brought them
legal.
up to $15 an hour and then added tips on top of that.
Pulling an old Mario Batali.
Correct. and it was less than ideal, obviously. First employee, as Geckel said, was fired for bringing it up, and they found corroborating emails between the brewery and said employee and shared those. So it's not a new problem. It's a problem they were aware of because they did come out and say that it was an accounting error and an error on their part, and they're going to pay restitution to the employees they currently have. But apparently it's been going on since the inception, and no former employee has been paid a single penny in restitution for the wages that were stolen that the owners pocketed the money for.
So there's too much good local craft beer, so don't fucking buy Mobtown.
Which is a shame because they make
fair
good
enough.
beer.
But that's fair enough. I mean, I have my my opinions about a particular whiskey brand, and it's fuck Bullet. I will never ever buy a bottle of Bullet. If you buy me a bottle of Bullet, I will pour it out in my drain.
That's even worse than this.
Yeah,
to be honest, just love your kids.
Yeah,
that's his own blood.
How about accept your daughter?
Yeah, just love your kids.
Yeah,
your daughter's gay. It's fine.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Just be a
dad.
Average father. Don't you have to be a good father. Just be
a dad.
Meh.
Well, here's the thing.
Be a meh
I've
father.
said this to you many times. People look at me and that actually know me, not what you all see on the internet here as I drink from this mug, that I am a good father. Nah, I'm just a father.
Right.
Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't want a fucking cookie for it.
Right.
Like, I feel kind of uncomfortable on Father's Day. Like, this is just what I'm meant to be doing.
Right.
Like, I don't, it's like, oh, you want a cookie for doing your job? Like, I mean, this is the gig. Like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we record at 10 o'clock. Because I said, fuck you, I can't be here.
Right. You got to
I have to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
Like, that is what it is. So just like, like the first lady of bourbon, Miss Bullet, who is, should have been the heiress to the Bullet house.
Yeah.
Was essentially disowned by her father.
Hollis.
Because she's a lesbian.
But Hollis is now married to her partner and doing great and working in consulting, and the entire industry has embraced her. And
because they should.
Thomas can fuck himself.
Isn't he also a racist on top of that as well?
Yep. There was.
I didn't even know that. He is.
I think I told you about this. Diageo had then decided, because this is Diageo, a monster corporation.
Don't those things go hand in hand?
They decided to.
Well, there's evidence. I guess.
There could be questions because it was awesome. It was a first black female master blender. But this also screamed of Diageo going, we're going to brush this under the rug and do something positive, right? And then there was just racist shit all over their bulletin boards about the master blender to the point where she quit. And that's what it's just, so it's like, just fuck Bullet. Just fuck Bullet. And also, fuck Mobtown. If you can't fucking pay your people, you know what? Monument's right around the corner from there. Go to Monument. They make great beers.
Yeah,
go see them.
Monument beer. Yes.
Yeah, buy their beer.
Also, Mel, I would venture to say that most racist people have searched for lesbian porn on their phone. So they don't go hand in hand. Yeah.
Speaking of porn, we'll tease this for injury time.
Lesbians are hot.
Again?
We have
Lesbians are super hot. Yes, they are.
I happen to
100%.
know
Yes.
what the most searched porn term was from every state in 2023, and I'll tell you about it on Injury
Did you
Time.
find that? Seriously? You had that queued up already?
Yep.
That was listen,
Professional.
behind the fucking curtain. That was not part of the pre-production meeting
No, not at all.
or the pre-production meeting, which
It is part of the pre-erection meeting.
Hey, you goddamn right it is. Now it is. Bang.
Spoiler alert.
It's right before I get hard.
Texas. Creamy.
What?
Whatever their porn search is, number one term Texans search for, creamy.
It's got to be salsa in it.
Too dumb to know the
Thanks for
range.
joining us, boys and girls. Next up is going to be Injury Time, where we apparently talk about everybody's porn history search.
Hey.
Yes.
Build that wall. Break that wall. Build that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The uterine wall, Sam.
Heard.
With my large white cock is what I'm saying.
Okay, very good. We're going to talk about the beers we're drinking, and Gecko brought a cooler full of beer for us. And we check in on the Ibs, but I can already tell you the Ibs didn't play. And we'll also talk a little bit. Well, we can't talk about fantasy because there was no fantasy games to be played.
Oh, there's fantasy games to be played. That's why we're replacing it with porn searches.
We're an hour 33 into this.
And for those of you still sticking with us live, we're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back and do our EFL show. We're going to do our EFL show where we talk about the lower leagues. And since we got Gecko here, we're going to talk a ton about the championship. Until next week, everybody.
Hey, good night, guys. Cheers.
Good night.
Good night. I get the fucking last word. You
Oh, it's very true.
It's very true.
Remember,
that's
that
the-
one's slow.
You're right.
So, Mr. Graham,
He's like, it's not true.
I will say I've switched
I
it.
looked at the wrong
I
screen.
will say I've switched it up because that won't last if I.
No.
So I am done.
Twill not last.
No. it
What's
will-
that one? Is it the
just
standard?
Standard Westward. So if you want a little, by all means.
All right, roll call. Who's the one person still paying attention since we went away for a little bit?
Hopefully it's Shorebird Billy. What's his
I'm
name?
pretty sure it is. Oh, shit, they're back. It's Shortboard Billy.
What
Yes.
about
Quick, hide the hookers and weed.
I was gonna say, where's Taylor?
What if I am the hooker and the weed?
Did Taylor
No,
Smash,
Smash
already
Williams.
do him
Smash
in?
Williams just off to sleep.
By the way, infamous Shore Billy, he likes fresh air like Producer Mel does.
I love it. Very good.
But y'all probably already knew that from meeting him the other day.
Well, let's go ahead. I am ready to start when you are, Producer Mel.
I had to get a good hit of that hookers and weed. There we go. As soon as Geckel gets settled. You ready now, Geckel?
I'm ready. Yes.
You know, it's all about you.
You all know what's coming, right?
It's got to be. Yeah. Hello, this is David Geckel from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a Leeds United fan. And we're back, bitches, and we're never fucking leaving.
The EFL.
And you're listening to the DU Football Show.
Exactly what I was about to
You
say.
gotta qualify
He's
it.
back
That's
in,
absolutely
back
right.
in the championship where they belong. Oh, I said I wasn't going to play it very much, but when he's here, after he, kind of fucks things off, you have to do it, right?
Yeah, we played it during the main show.
Start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Huston.
Sam Huston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of a lord. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to DU Does EFL Show, a completely biased brief recap of the English Football League as told by two common American schmucks and one guy that might know something about it because his team's down there. I am your host, Sam Huston, and across the way from me is, I still haven't changed it yet, Mr. Samuel Graham. I still have it as Young Hot Freshness listed here. And I went through
I was
all
off
of,
one fucking week, mate.
I went through all of them to make sure there were no Hirams except for this one. This
Nice.
was the one I missed on.
That's fine. I was off 1 week.
Yeah.
And I still called in that game.
And Geck's here.
Well, I am muted him now.
Yeah, we call him by his
Just Geck.
Christian name.
Christian name, Geck.
There
Hey,
was,
Geck.
there was Dennis Eckersley, the Eck, and now there's Geck.
There we go. On the ones and twos, Producer Mel. How you doing, Producer Mel?
I'm good. I'm chatting with Shorebelly. He wishes that you guys were able to check the chats and while we're doing the show. And I'm like, yeah, we're getting there.
You do the
You guys
chats.
can only do so many things at once.
No, you do.
That
you do
sounds
the chats.
disrespectful from you, actually.
and he goes, well, if Hiram is young, hot freshness, that means the other one is old and busted.
No,
Yeah.
does not mean that.
No, it's exactly what it means.
No, it does not.
That's just the Men in Black rules.
Yeah,
he doesn't
exactly.
make them.
No, that's
Young
not
Young
what
and
it
fresh,
means.
old and busted.
I mean,
that's
it's gotta
exactly what
be.
it
No,
is.
I'm not the opposite of Hiram.
I would say you are the exact opposite of
No,
Hiram.
I'm middle-aged and kind of cool.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
Graham?
You're old and busted.
Graham,
You've had to
Kind
be
of is doing
fixed
a
by
lot of work
surgery.
it's only a matter of time for you, Mr. Blood Pressure Meds.
Yeah, all
You
right.
keep running your mouth the way you like to run your mouth. It all comes back to bite you in the ass, old ass.
It'll be fine. I'm not old yet.
Uh-huh.
I'll be 38 in May.
Uh-huh. It's only a matter of time.
38. Fuck. I did go to the chiropractor today.
When you turn 40.
That felt good.
When you turn 40 and start to cry.
30? When I turned 30?
40 and you start to cry,
Irish chili.
I'm going to be right there behind you.
I won't cry.
Patting you on the back, going, there, you little bitch.
I think Carly and I might host a live sex show when I turn 40, just to show we still got it.
After those 25 seconds, what are you going to, do a Q&A? Fill in.
So what'd you think when I did this? Yeah, why not?
There will be Graham.
Martinis and dressing gowns. It'll be fun.
Stop telling people about what we do during our fucking our videos for our Patreon listeners. Our appreciation video every year. Graham will be done, and Graham will just look at everybody and go, "Dem titties dope."
Salisbury Steaks over there must be wondering what the fuck he walked into.
We are recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can find us wherever you get your pods and, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Yeah, we really can't be asked to check our socials for the most part anyway, so we're definitely not setting up a new one for this. It's the same shit at DU Football Show on all your social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email, even for this show.
It's very simple. I run the Twitter. He runs the Gram. I actually answer
I haven't
tweets.
I haven't posted a picture on Instagram in fucking ages.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know. It's all the shit Mel posts.
That's what I've been
all
doing.
the videos.
But I haven't gotten a photo from you from recording in ages either.
Also, on TikTok.
So what am I supposed to post? You dickhead.
You can hear. Hold on. I'll take a quick picture. There you go. I got a picture to post.
Can't wait.
They can go through and take screenshots now. We the new cameras are putting us in at 50 frames per second.
We
so
can go through and do screenshots. Have we?
no, you can go through and get screenshots.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that while I'm trying to change a shitty diaper.
Yeah,
I had time for that.
You're the producer. Produce a fucking
Give me
picture.
a fucking picture, mates.
You just get a picture of Luton or Sheffield.
I'm doing exactly $10 more work. Okay, y'all.
That's right, because we'll mention that when we do injury time as well. We aren't drinking exactly the same shit, because if I pour myself another glass of that old elk, there won't be a bottle.
Yeah.
So I'm drinking the old company, Westward Whiskey, the original American single malt.
You
good.
got excited by the high barley content, did you?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that
got
what it
all
was?
excited about it.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get
because
into
we love the Patreon followers.
yeah.
Get the
That's
top
what we got to
20
hold that
whiskeys.
on.
Try to leave that for you. Well, what happens is we've done it before, where we like get down to like a quarter of a bottle,
We just have to go find another bottle,
We go
yeah.
find another bottle of it,
Fuck.
and then like that quarter of the bottle will be on the bar and not get drank at all, and then I just get a full fucking bottle sitting in the.
The worst part is when that happens. Typically, we have to find a friend in Texas or Ohio
you
or
have to find
Illinois.
us another fucking bottle.
Please just fucking hook us up again, please. And then they
it-
do, because
but
they
it-
like us, because we're charming motherfuckers.
Keep the sticker and put it on something else.
But also, Graham, as you mentioned earlier, do not doubt your and I's ability to get what we
To
want.
procure what we need to procure.
If it is alcohol, we will find it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just how we roll. So let's go ahead and get into it. Since we have Geck here, there were a handful of games in League 1 and 2, and we're going to go ahead and talk about them first, and then we'll chat.
Get those out of the
championship.
way, yep. And then, because with the championship man here,
Let's talk about the league as a
let's
whole.
talk about the league as a whole, since he pays attention to it more than we do.
Right. We watch a few highlights of a few key
We do
matches.
the best that we can, yeah.
And honestly, we just kind of want to talk about all of it as a whole, because ultimately what would happen is this bleeds over into the main show, and the main show already goes an hour and a half, and we don't need it to go 2.5.
Absolutely. We also have Geckel and we have Lars, who are Leeds fans, and we know they're going to listen to us because they like us.
Yeah.
What really we're doing is practicing for when Fulham get relegated after João Palhinha leaves, and that contingent who doesn't like us that much might roll out if we don't talk about them.
Or God forbid Everton ever get relegated and I need to do a show about my team.
You're 1 10-point deduction away. one additional 10-point deduction.
Oh, I'm sure they'll figure out another 10-point deduction to give us, because they're not happy that we're outside of it right now. They'll be like, let's fuck over Everton one more time.
You're so
Pompey-
Alex Jones.
Oh, I very much am. Very
The
much
10-point deduction is turning the liverbirds gay.
I have the documents right here. Get Excelsior Mail right now. It'll take care of everything you need.
Satire. Please do not take us off YouTube. Satire.
Pompey lost at 22nd place Cheltenham.
Cheltenham.
Magic of the
Cheltenham.
Cup. Oh wait,
Yeah.
The horses ran ragged, huh?
Yep.
Did they? The old Pompey?
2-1. They still sit 2 points clear of Bolton, but Bolton now have 2 games in hand.
Yeah, so they don't sit 2 points clear, do they?
No.
Because Bolton haven't been playing poorly at
now,
all.
the one thing they have going for them is they have already played Bolton and they beat Bolton, so that helps them as well. But this is only their 3rd loss of the season.
Yeah.
They
it just comes at a shit time.
They just drew way too many matches at the start of the season. Just wrong timing for them. Other notable result is Exeter City won, and that moves them over Reading. So Reading is now back in the drop again.
Yep. In the final drop spot.
Yeah, the final drop spot, because 4 teams go down in League One.
Which is a long old way to claw back for Reading.
So a few results.
And that honestly, with the stadium they have, because remember they were Premier League not too terribly long ago, that could be detrimental to Reading's future altogether. That's a big old stadium to fill if you're in. If you're in League Two, yeah.
That was, I mean, you saw that as a huge problem when we were talking about Sunderland when they went down to League One. They couldn't fill the entire upper bowl. Like they had to do kind of bits to try to have like the largest attendance at a League One match, and those were the kind of bits they had to do just to try to make more money for them as a club.
Appear, to pay for that hyperbolic chamber that nobody ever used, except the owner at the time, who was also London based.
Yeah.
Another similarity to Newcastle.
Yeah,
with Mike Ashley. Pika.
So a few results in at the top of the League Two table. Barrow beat Tranmere 1-0, and Mansfield suffered their 2nd loss of the season, 1-0 to Crewe Alexandria, but neither side lost their spot in the table. They're still the same, still sitting in 2nd and 4th respectively. At the bottom of the table, Forest Green moved back into 23rd by drawing Salford 2-2. But they're still 6 points away from safety. Yeah. It's them and Sutton are in a bad way in League Two.
Yeah, they are. I mean, honestly, they're a natural source of collagen away from being safe. And at Forest Green Rovers, you're never going to find that. Because apparently it's only found in chicken feet.
Heard.
Which is obviously
Animal byproduct, yeah. No Jello for them.
Sure.
Wasn't my fault.
Championship corner.
I've fallen and I can't get up. Oh no!
Spitting straight fire, Mel is tonight. I mean, just the fucking on her game. You know what?
She's looking across at the Gex. She's just getting all flustered. I'm sorry.
You think Jordan...
No wife and no dogs this week? Oh, my goodness.
You think Jordan
Andy likes to watch.
dropping 50 with the flu
He's got
in the
popcorn.
playoffs.
Yeah.
And then you think Melissa Helen Houston's producing Ackerman right there.
Let's
I
list
mean,
off
1A and 1B, really.
the jobs I do for this podcast.
Go ahead.
I'm your social media director, video editor, sound engineer, roadie.
And do we really want to take his credit for sound engineer after this last Saturday?
I edit the show. I produce the show. I'm your graphic designer. And don't tell me your graphics are not fire.
You outsource that.
I don't. I do all of it.
She does it all.
All of
What
it.
about that sticker she had commissioned?
All
Since
that-
then, all of that
That's
shit,
the only
everything,
thing.
every
'cause
week
I
is
don't
her.
physically draw, but everything else, and I commissioned it. It was my idea, so I produced it.
Okay.
And I'm your field reporter. Thank you, Shorebelly. Like he's helping me out here.
Do we have any audio from Shore Billy?
No, not yet.
Well,
And
you didn't-
nobody smokes more weed than her.
You didn't
I mean,
field
Shorebelly.
You didn't field report a goddamn thing, did you? We don't have any audio from him yet.
I am going to walk out.
You know what?
20 says I produced this shit.
You know
what,
the
Gecko?
key.
Yeah, you want to come over and produce this shit? I'll gladly go to bed.
You know the key thing she does really
I got
well.
2 other companies to worry about.
I tell you
I know,
the
I'm
thing
ready for.
You got doe dogs.
she does better than anybody. Best cold reader in the business has proven tonight, and hits the shit out them buttons. I mean, she is right on time with those buttons.
I mean, she hit your buttons enough before we started. That vein popped out.
I'm counting down to Love Is Blind, though, Mel. I'm counting down.
I feel like I'm walking alone over here.
You try to deflect, but it doesn't work.
Mel, it's all love over here. We all love you.
Let's go ahead and talk about the championship since we have Mr. Geckel here. See, that's how we take the steering wheel and just right into the right
Here
lane.
we go with bigging himself up again now. After all that, it's gotta.
Well, you've been told you're brilliant tonight, and my job is to fucking keep you in check so you don't ramble on for fucking 30 minutes.
I mean, it's just nice to be appreciated. Is all I'm saying.
So, Gecko, the season started really rocky for Leeds in the championship. There was a lot of questions of what was going on. I know there was Nato wanting to be sold and then not wanting to be sold. Farka kind of trying to figure out what he was going to do with the club. Kind of go into that a little bit, and then we'll get into where you are now.
Yeah, so obviously you go down from the Premiership. So I was wrong about staying up forever.
God, you haven't been in the Premier League for a long time, have you? I haven't been called the Premiership since like 2002.
Anyways, you get
Anyways,
Last time
I got
you were
him
there.
with a fucking anyways. You know what? You're right. I'm just going to move on from that. That's what that means. Thank you.
you get relegated, and then we had some very terrible language in all of our players' contracts that we got when we were in the Premier League. That basically said if anybody could match the wages, they could go on loan. So we lost about 7 or 8 players on loan.
That's how we got Harrison.
Yeah.
Yep.
And a lot of the people that didn't have those clauses were crying about leaving. So at the beginning of the season, it was kind of bare bones. We had 2 keepers on the bench just to fill out a lineup.
But just briefly, that happens a lot to teams that get relegated, right?
Of course.
You know, especially, say, for instance, somebody like Luton right now that has Ross Barkley and Andros Townsend. Those are established Premier League players, whether you like them or not, you know, that have played for big clubs, you know, Everton and Chelsea,
Right.
and Andros Townsend played for Spurs and a few others as well. Yeah. And those players are no secret, you know, say Burnley stayed up. They'd take them in a heartbeat.
Oh, God, yeah.
Say, you know, Bournemouth stayed up again. If they had the finances, they'd take them in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So you have the players know that. The club knows that. All of these players are trying to protect their own livelihood. So you run into a lot of those that aren't, you know, known to the general public necessarily, kind of clauses in those contracts that I can fuck off if I want to if we're relegated.
Well, and you have to
And
write
that's
that
the
in.
reason I'm joining you is I need regular game time. You need a player of my talents, right? And then if I don't produce for you, I can fuck off and still have a good career. Sorry about your club.
That's also loanee players who go to play for those, you know, those newly promoted sides. Like, remember Conor Gallagher played for West Brom.
Palace and West Brom.
Well,
And yep.
West Brom went down, and it was like by the end of the season they had multiple loan players, and those loan players ultimately really didn't care. They're going back to their club. They'll get loaned out again.
Ooh, excuse me. Had something stuck in my throat.
You're not wrong. Yeah. You're not wrong. In that instance, I mean, Weston McKennie was dog shit in the Premier League. You know,
tell that to every American fan on Twitter who says, "Oh, Leeds ruined them."
No, it
He
was
phoned it
him.
in.
No,
was
I
him.
thought he was fine until Abdoulaye Doucouré choked him. I thought he was perfectly fine until he got choked.
Because
Yeah.
then after that, Tyler Adams got hurt, and he was not in.
Maybe
the
it was
position
Tyler
he
Adams who
supposed to be in.
choked. Doesn't matter.
It was
The point
case,
stands.
Yeah.
But the team has turned it around, and really the key match that I would turn to was at Leicester, and I watched the match with you up
Yeah.
at Barflies in Baltimore, the Leeds bar,
Yeah.
which still a good supporter turnout for Leeds matches. It's not even just there was a few more people there that were into Leeds because obviously there was an American coach and American players, and maybe they're not all there. There's still a good little chunk of people who come through and watch the matches.
Did they remember to try to log into ESPN and not Apple TV at that bar?
We got that right. Yeah.
Oh wow! So it wasn't as tense.
Yeah,
in that bar.
as it
I
was
think
at
it was
the
my
Abbey.
login. Yeah, I think.
But that match, the 1-0 victory, that really kind of turned things around. And if it wasn't for the fact that Leicester is on absolute fucking fire, because outside of losing to you and then they lost the next match, they've been just fantastic.
They've won 21 of 26 matches, which for the championship is incredible. Like,
Right.
They are. I think this is the best form I've seen for a championship team. And that goes Newcastle when they were down for a year.
West Ham when they were down. Burnley looked real damn good last year.
Well, I wasn't paying attention then.
Yeah, I heard. But also, newly promoted Ipswich has had a just phenomenal start to the year as well.
Other than playing Leeds, yes.
Yeah. And then couple that also with the other demoted
Southampton
team.
has 18 unbeaten matches in a row.
Southampton's been playing fantastic. So you're sitting in fourth place.
They'd
And
be
playing
probably
well.
second in any other year.
Playing well.
So here's the thing. I just pulled the table up. So you have Leicester's far and away 10 points clear of second place Ipswich. They're on 65 points, 21 wins, 2 draws, 3 losses, a plus 36 goal differential. Besides Leeds at a plus 20, there's nobody else even within touching distance. And Leeds are still 16 goals behind Leicester in goal differential. And as we said, in these promotion and relegation battles, that goal differential is almost like an extra point. You know,
I think everyone's written off winning the league. If
Well, of
Leicester
course.
don't win the league, but it's the championship, so that even still Leicester could not win the league, but they will. They'll win the league.
there's 24 teams in the championship. So you're talking about a 46 game season. So we are just over halfway through.
20 matches
So there's
left,
still
yeah.
a lot of games left to play.
Thick and fast,
but
yeah.
but so what I was going to say is you got second place Ipswich now on 55 points, third place Southampton on 52, and Leeds are in fourth on 48. So only 7 points back from Ipswich for the automatic promotion spot. So you're looking at a 2-week turnaround.
Yeah,
I
Southampton,
mean, you could be in second place by the end of January.
Southampton were behind us, I think, before the Christmas period, and they won all their matches.
Like you said, they went
And they're
nuts.
4 points
Yeah,
clear of Leeds, or 3 points, whatever it is.
Well, and also during the Christmas time period, as I mentioned on last week's show, and bears repeating again, was let's remember the EFL, the league, played 4 matches in 10 fucking days. It was like Boxing Day,
Jurgen Klopp
that
would have lost
Friday,
his fucking mind.
Boxing Day, that Friday, the following Tuesday, then again on, like, I mean, it was just one after a fucking another.
Yeah.
Hey, if I could take this to the Premier League real quick, one pun that I heard today said something very funny about Jurgen Klopp and the potential for a Arsenal replay and how they hoped that they had drawn that game so they could have a replay so Klopp would have something else to bitch about other than the time of games. And they noticed that a lot of the FA Cup games in American time kicked off at 12:45, right? Which would have been, 5:45 in England.
Right.
And Jurgen always tends to complain about those 12:30 kickoffs on Saturday morning.
Right, of course.
To them, obviously 5:30 is like, why don't we get enough rest? But it was like, hey, Jurgen, you know what we've done for you? You're going to kick off at 12:50. Get an extra 20 minutes, man. Extra 20 minutes of recovery and rest time.
Little
That's
extra time there.
very fucking funny.
Yeah.
And then to look at the championship again, as you say, and they just fit games in where they can. To have 4 games rather in the space of 10 days is you're essentially playing every other goddamn day. It's just there's no recovery time.
During-
It's so fucking intense.
New Year's Eve was
down
on
in
a
the championship.
Sunday.
Yep.
They didn't play over the weekend because they all played on Friday because they all then played on Monday.
On New Year's Day. Yeah.
And that wasn't just the championship. League One and League Two did that too. Like, it's just fucking insanity.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the other thing that's worth mentioning, and this is where I kind of want to bring you in as well, Gek, is looking at the rest of the table because after Leeds, West Brom has started to kind of establish themselves as a fifth place team. But honestly, from them all the way down to fucking Preston sitting in, what is that, 14th place? Yeah, 14th place. It's 42 to 35 on points. It's insane. So are you seeing these teams all kind of beating each other? What's going on with that?
So I'd even go as far as 17th Blackburn on 32.
Yeah.
That's only 2 games, really. 3 games, rather. 9 points. You'd be 1 point off the playoffs.
Right. I mean, it's...
If everything went right. I mean, that whole middle section of the championship is...
And also the bottom of the table is like the 5 teams that are down there are down there. And then everybody else seems to have a puncher's chance.
Has a chance. Yeah.
Yeah, so every year it feels like someone comes from around 10th, 12th, and makes a run at the playoffs. And they get hot at the right time. And they could do that again this year.
Yeah, they were terrible last year. They shot all the way up. And this year started off terribly
at the beginning.
Shot
Yeah.
up the fucking league.
So Forest, when they got promoted, lost like their first. They were almost going to get relegated, and I think they got a new manager.
They went to Cooper.
Yeah. Villa, when they got promoted, were hanging around 10th, 11th place, and they brought in Dean Smith, and they went on a run, and they ran into a real shit Derby team in the playoff final and won.
Yeah.
Because Leeds fucked it off against Derby in the playoffs, which I'm sure is going to happen again.
That was Frank Lampard's Derby, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was Frank Lampard's Derby.
He's doing really well as a manager, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Him and Rooney both.
Well done.
Unfortunately, Birmingham signed somebody else, a real grizzled championship bastard, and not Frank Lampard.
Yep.
It was rumored that that's who they were going to sign.
Oh, yeah.
Was
they were
Lampard.
looking. The ownership group wants the show.
Yeah.
That's why they named themselves the Shelby Company.
Yeah. Yeah,
and owned Birmingham City Football Club. I mean, they want the show. They want the circus. Yeah. That's the whole point.
But
they saw Wrexham and they want the clickbait. That's the whole idea.
Yeah.
So the same point about somebody making a run up. I think Preston won 7 of their first 8 matches, and now they're in 14th.
Yeah, they've shot down.
Birmingham was in 6 and got Wayne Rooney, and now they're battling relegation. Yeah. So it's just the form.
They're in 20th. Yeah,
it's crazy, and unlike the Premier League, where City is just going to win every match from here on out, the end of the season. Like Leicester will lose to Plymouth at Plymouth. And you go, what the fuck?
Yeah, the top 4 seem locked. How that mixes and matches? Yeah. Like, does Ipswich fall back to the pack a little, and then does it become a battle between you and Southampton for a second?
Yeah.
That is always possible, but I think Ipswich finds themselves at least in the playoffs.
But
after
people
that,
are sniffing around their manager, so it might be tough to finish second.
After that, I got a lot of faith in West Brom simply because they've been of the teams that have fallen out of the playoffs and been back in the playoffs. They've been the one kind of consistent, always in 5th or 6th place, and it just feels like they're consistently sticking around. But like, we've seen Sunderland bounce in and out multiple times. We've seen Norwich. We've seen Hull City. We've seen Cardiff. Like, for a little while at the start of the season, it was Preston. We've watched these teams just kind of bounce around.
Yeah.
It's kind of insanity how fucking tight the championship is this year.
For my money, with who's up there right now, for my money, I would like to see Sunderland because they've been gone for so long.
Right.
I would like to see more than Sunderland, actually. I'd like to see Coventry. They're sitting in 8th, 3 points out of a playoff spot. I'd like to see Coventry get back into the Premier League.
Coventry had their chance last year.
That's what I'm saying, but they're still thereabouts.
They had a big victory in the 3rd round of the FA Cup. I think they scored 6.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
they scored 6.
West Brom is...
Very nice. Very nice. He scored 6.
Hey, Sam, you've been my friend. You've been my boyfriend.
King of the castle. King of the castle.
Get right to the machine. Score 6.
But West Brom are they've only allowed 24 goals, so they're second in terms of goals allowed, and I think they'll be one of the better defensive
Yeah, but they don't
clubs.
score many is the problem.
But I think that's enough to get them in the playoffs.
Yeah, it could be. I mean, the teams behind them are +8, +4, +10, +1, +6, +2.
Yeah.
Going down to 11th from West Brom. And Southampton are only a +15, so... but they are 10 points back from Southampton. Can they make that up? There's a lot of 1-0s in there, possibly not.
I don't see West Brom having enough to get automatic promotion, but I would find it hard to believe they don't end up in the playoffs, even though they're really not that far ahead.
Yeah.
Boing, boing, motherfucker.
I mean, honestly, for your club, the thing you don't want is to be in the playoffs. You want second. Like,
Exactly.
you really want second.
And Leeds have had some real bad luck in the playoffs, the FA Cup, any sort of knockout competition. They just
The problem with the playoffs is that's not part of the topics.
Right.
Automatic promotion is a topic.
We see this every single year. Whoever's third does not advance to the final in Wembley. They don't. They never do. Like, they always lose.
You know who
because
else?
the team who is in sixth is always the hot team. It's if we wanted to compare it like to American sports, it's baseball. It's the wild card team. How many times have you seen the wild card team win the World Series? Why? Because they're the hot fucking team coming in. And they play the team that's been comfortable and got to rest players, and they kick the shit out of them. Same thing every fucking year in the championship. Whoever is the sixth place team, be like, well, they'll be at the final. Like, it's just a guaranteed they'll be at the final.
So
there's also the third place team misses out on promotion. So you have people kind
a
of
bit of a
going in opposite
disappointment.
directions.
Yeah. The other thing too that I just real quick of note, I believe he's at Norwich, but former Huddersfield manager Daniel Wagner is back from the
I don't
Bundesliga.
think he's been fired.
No, not that I saw.
They had a bit of a
But
drop.
he was in charge this weekend of the FA Cup.
Yeah,
'Cause they have a replay, I think,
They do, yeah.
and he actually grew his hair out a bit, got a little swoop to the side, little salt and peppers, looking quite nice actually. Daniel Wagner.
They like their German. Well, he's basically German. They like their German managers down there at Norwich.
I think he is German.
Yeah, but he played for America because he had like a German or an American parent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fine. Goddamn right he did. America, bitches.
Let's turn the attention to the bottom half of the table. I think it's pretty safe to say Rotherham's going right back down to League One.
I think so as
They've
well.
always been a yo-yo club between the championship and yes.
No, real quick, before we move on from this, I want to ask Mel, I see a lot of laugh faces there at the last comment. I want to see if there's anything in the chats going on with I can't think of
Shorebilly?
another Easter Shore reference. I was trying to fuck his name up again on purpose, and I can't even think about it.
He says, I want Sunderland to get promoted just for 2 Tyne-Wear derbies a year, but keep them in 12.
You know what's
Honestly,
funny about that?
We have both kind of said we wouldn't mind seeing Sunderland go up simply for Tyne-Wear. Simply so we can watch the Tyne-Wear twice a year.
Wouldn't we get confused with Bournemouth's jerseys and their jerseys?
Bournemouth is red and black, Mel.
It's Bournemouth and Newcastle together.
Oh, is that what it is?
I mean, honestly, Bournemouth is the olive branch.
There we go.
What I, in many ways.
Because they're barely a Premier League club.
Hey,
They're 15,000 seat stadium.
the cherry
Sunderland Stadium
unifies us all.
Goddamn right. Let's pop that cherry. No, but so I had this conversation with Alan on Saturday. Was, do I want to see Tottenham do bad? Yes, I do. Obviously, it's funny. It's
You
worth
never
it.
want to see him out of the league.
No, I don't want to see them relegated.
And they never will. They have too much money.
Well, no,
But you want a North London.
Well, here's
like
the
you need
thing.
the North London every year.
It comes back to Batman, Joker.
Yeah.
Right? Would Batman be Batman if he didn't have Joker? Joker was right. Heath Ledger was right in that conversation in the police station.
You need me.
You need me. Right? to have a season that did not contain a North London derby, is that a season?
It would feel empty.
To have a season that does not have a Merseyside derby,
It
is
would
that
feel empty.
Is it
Yeah.
worth it? No.
Meanwhile,
As a
Villa just
neutral, it
enjoys
feels-
laughing at
Yeah.
Birmingham right
It
now.
wouldn't feel right.
No, not at all. What'd you say?
I said right now, Villa's just enjoying laughing at Birmingham, going.
I know, but you
It's
Okay, you got
ridiculous.
to spend a little time in the championship having a Birmingham derby there for a while.
No, but traditionally, y'all have been in different leagues. Anyway, Villa's always been in the top flight for the most part,
Right.
and Birmingham has not.
Right.
Those years that you shared that spotlight were not normal in your history.
Right. It was not
Right.
normal for Birmingham City to be in the Prem.
Right. So for those of us, in a very fortunate position that we do know that on a regular basis, it would be terrible to not have them here.
Yeah. I mean,
As much as I do want to see them do bad, and yeah, the jokes for a year would be really funny, right, to see them relegated to the championship. But if Spurs, went on one of them runs where they were gone for 5-6 years, I don't know that I'd even look forward to the season, to be honest with you.
The new White Hart Lane in the championship would be pretty fucking hilarious.
Oh, it absolutely would.
but
Absolutely would.
White Hart Lane.
100%. It'd be shooting blanks up there. All them little white spermies in the
here's one for you,
60,000
Grammy. It's think about
wall.
it. The last time we had
fucking mic over.
dropping her phone. Just
Let walk out.
She's on a banger tonight.
hey Mel, real quick.
Just like your.
Do you need to lay down?
Yeah.
Take a nap. Is that what? Okay.
You know what she's doing is she found a fellow weed enthusiast online, and they've been trading fucking
Contact eye,
toke
yeah.
videos. They've been FaceTiming, just huffing.
Here's
whatever it's
in
called.
Maryland.
I mean, let's.
She did it again. No, that's why her mic stand's duct taped.
Medical taped it.
It is medical
marijuana
tape.
A few,
please.
Real quick, a few thoughts about derbies, and then I want to finish with the bottom of the table and call it a wrap to the show. Is with derbies, think about it. We haven't had West Ham Millwall forever.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the last time we had West Ham Millwall was when West Ham got relegated, which was about 6 seasons ago. I want to say it was
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like-
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
'Cause I was
Maybe
following
eight, maybe
Leeds,
8 or
West
9,
Ham wasn't,
yeah.
We haven't had that in forever. This year, for the first time in a while, because when Ipswich was in the championship, Norwich was in the Premier
Premier
League.
League, yep.
We finally had
And
an
then
old
when
farm.
Norwich got relegated. Ipswich got relegated.
Right.
Yeah.
So, like, we finally had an old farm. But unless you're a big footy geek, we look out for that shit, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, on this show, it was very important to us to make sure we talked about the old farm because it's a big fuck. That's a big
big
fuck
deal.
derby.
That's all
Like,
Ipswich has.
I mean-
out there in the fucking east of England.
I mean, honestly, in the top 10 derbies, I'd put the old farm at number 10. I'd put it there. It's
okay.
it's a big fuck deal, right? And
I don't know. It's probably for me on the level of the M22 or whatever the fucking Brighton fucking Palace made up bullshit is.
call it by its proper name. It's the El Gatwe Go, motherfucker. It's the El Gatwe Go.
It's two bald men fighting over a comb is what it is. Nobody gives a fuck.
But it's with those derbies, we want to see those derbies in the Prem.
No, we absolutely do.
Because
100%.
Because the American audience won't understand why a Tyne Ware is the primetime match on a Saturday.
But that's the point,
But,
right?
like,
That's what gets you
here's
into it.
what we need you to know. Like,
that's
this
what
is
gets you
it.
into it. Yeah. That's
Like-
the whole idea. So, like when Rangers were liquidated and taken down to the 4th tier of Scottish football, and there was no Celtic Rangers for fucking. I think they might have met in the Scottish Cup twice.
Right.
But there were only 2 derbies in like 4 years.
Yeah.
Because Rangers went straight right back up
Right.
to the Premiership. But there were I think, just 2 old firms in 4 years.
Like, what the fuck, man?
It's like, it's just, you look at the footballing calendars, like, you get disappointed.
It's disappointing.
Yeah. And it's like when Juve went down for match fixing, and there was no Derby d'Italia with Juve and Inter. You know, it'd be like Lazio going down to Serie B and not being able to play Roma, and you know, Real Madrid or Barcelona getting relegated and not being able to play each other in Spain.
Right.
And these derbies, what's fun about footy, especially. And this is what a lot of people don't understand, is it's not just closeness or turf wars or whatever, which my derby is a turf war.
Right.
Right. We moved up into Tottenham territory in 1913 is what it was. And since then, we've been vastly more successful, and we hate each other, and that's fine.
Mine is a turf war. We won the first fucking title at Anfield.
But you also have...
We won the first fucking title in that stadium. It's ours.
You also have the history of renting Anfield out and being the team there and then getting kicked out.
Like I just said, we won the first title at Anfield. Belongs to Everton, not to Liverpool.
Right, but that was your home stadium is my point.
Yeah.
But like the Scottish one is Catholics versus Protestants.
Yeah.
Is how it kind of started. You know, the divide in Scotland. We all were alive in the early 90s and saw the riots. I mean, I was 5 years old. You were about 40. And, you know, we understood it in different ways, but we all saw it happen.
Oh, the fucking Edinburgh Derby is top of the hill versus bottom of the hill. Like, legitimately, it is the Hart Stadium at the very top of the city, and then Ibs
in the heroin district. Yeah.
like.
But then you have the Roman Derby, which is politics. You have Lazio, which traditionally the fans are more fascist. It's the favorite club of Benito Mussolini back in the day. You know, and Paolo Di Canio, one of the most famous players, throwing up the three-finger fascist salute frequently as a player and getting banned for it and continuing to fucking do it.
Right.
Versus the Democratic club of AS Roma. You've got, you know, the Crown Club, Real Madrid, versus the People's Club in Barcelona, and the whole Catalan region versus the whole of Spain kind of also political struggle. There's so many of these extra storylines that go into these derbies that a lot of people just don't even fucking know about. And to have that presented in the Premier League and the passion shown in the Premier League for these derbies is I think super important to growing the sport and super important to you know, in you know, kind of untapped markets, if you will, which the U.S. is still pretty untapped if you consider some of the numbers they're putting up. You know, 9-10 million for you know, Manchester United, Liverpool, for instance. You know, that's fucking pocket change to the NFL in this country.
Right.
It's a huge number for soccer.
Right.
But it's a shit show comparatively to what the NFL puts up for, you know, the Ravens non-starter against the Pittsburgh Steelers this weekend. You know what I mean? But more of this in the Premier League is beneficial to everyone that loves the sport, whether or not you like or dislike those teams, is my point.
Right, and understanding that.
Not just in England, but all over Europe, there's only a certain few clubs that can win a title. And
absolutely.
Having these derbies is something it's basically like a cup final. It's a couple times a year.
Will you Phil Neville?
No, fuck that guy.
15 games left in Miami season. Every game's a cup final. It is. Sorry, it's Phil Neville. Every game's a cup final. It is.
Well, looking at like last year.
I take your point. I'm just taking a piss, but I take your point. You're absolutely right.
Back to our friends, the Fitz, Fulham in the South. First time since the 70s that they got 4 points off of Chelsea. Like, it's a big fuck deal.
Absolutely.
That's a huge, I mean, like, them finishing just outside the top 10 and staying up was great, but I guarantee you, if you ask any Fulham supporter what their thoughts of were last year, they'll be like, yeah, took 4 off of fucking Chelsea.
That's Leeds fan 3-0 over Chelsea. That was like the peak of the season,
right?
That's what makes it so special, yeah. And it's more an English thing than it is a rest of Europe thing, for the most part.
Yeah.
But we take on, as Americans, we take on that local persona as we support our clubs, right?
Right.
And it is local bragging rights. I mean, that's what the derby is essentially. Is we're fucking better than you on our patch of 2 square miles.
Well, I mean, the perfect example for NFL fans is these derbies are Ravens Steelers on crack, to the umpteenth degree, and there are 100 of them.
But imagine,
right? No,
exactly. Sir Alex Ferguson said it best, right? He said the reason football will never be big in America is because of the distance to travel, right? So DC United, LA Galaxy, in terms of history of winning things, should be one of the biggest rivalries in the country.
Right. You got someone who's won 4 and someone who's
7
won 5.
DC United fans that travel and 5 LA Galaxy fans that travel this way.
And they keep adding more and more teams, and you play once a year and
instead of twice. Yeah. So what they really should do
now they want to do a pro rel system where they actually buy out the USL or just add more teams. That's an old
honestly
old,
what they should do
story.
What they should do is adopt they already kind of have it in terms of the playoffs with kind of an AL NL or an AFC NFC kind of situation with the East and West. What they should do is regionalize it into 4 quarters of the U.S. And they should do it, and this is so rudimentary, but if you think back to England, do it along the train lines. Do it so the Northeast is every team on the 95 fucking corridor that can travel for an affordable price to go support their fucking club on a Saturday. It can be a day trip to go to New York.
Oh, absolutely.
If you need it to be, right? And the club, the league, since it's a single ownership kind of model, the league supplement those prices. If you're a DC United supporter and you've got, you're part of the members club or whatever, the members group, you get a fucking 40% discount on your train ticket. And get up and have a 2,000 strong contingent and get that fucking rivalry going. But that's what we love about the European part. That's the point. Is right. We can get there. We can all show up. We can all be a part of it.
Yeah, Timbers Sounders has history, and it's close-ish for America.
Hey, it's very close.
It's only a 6-hour drive.
They hate each other.
Yeah.
So I get your point.
Yeah. Boys, we got to bring it back in. We went
off a lot of tangents.
That wasn't me. That was
no. It's fine. But I do want to get back and just talk a little bit about the bottom half of the table. And we've gone 45 minutes for a fucking EFL show where we normally go 20. Mel's
we got
rolling
somebody
her
that
eyes
actually
at me.
knows about it,
4
which
matches
is
in the
huge.
Prem.
So, looking at the bottom half of the table, from 18th down to 24th, we have Plymouth Argyle all the way down to Rotherham. Rotherham, I think we all can agree, is definitely going down.
Yep.
But
they're the definition of a yo-yo club.
But the rest of that, like, QPR is typically a team that's part of the furniture in the championship.
Yep.
And they have had a hard struggle. Sheffield Wednesday has always been a team that's been in the championship. They obviously went down to League One, won League One easily and came back up, but had a really hard start to the season. Then you look at Huddersfield Town, who barely survived last season,
Yeah.
Birmingham City, which is just an absolute fucking mess, right?
They got rid of Rudy, though, so that's a good step forward.
Stoke City, who... again, part of the furniture. They've always been kind of a championship club. They did spend a little bit of time in the Prem, but they're part of the furniture.
Enough time to break the legs of 2 Arsenal players.
Yep. And then Plymouth Argyle, who was the second promoted team from League One. I'd
love them to go on a run and come up to the Premier League.
I really want... For me, just on a rooting interest, I want Plymouth Argyle to stay up. I want them to stay up.
Yeah.
And
we love all season. I'll literally, if they came up to the Premier League, I will have a Plymouth gin cocktail every fucking week.
I was about to
Fuck
say
the top 20. Fuck everything. I'm drinking Plymouth gin all fucking.
I was gonna say their
Yeah.
monks
At least
make a
wait another
pretty
year for
fucking
that.
banging gin.
Yeah.
It's exactly what I was about to
yeah.
say. Where do we think things are gonna fall? I feel like for me, QPR's gotta figure it out. Like they're gotta figure it out. Because if they go down to League One, that's like
It could
what
be
you
detrimental.
what you are seeing right now with Reading. Reading is dangerously close to going down to League Two, pulling honestly a Leeds where you just see yourself fucking
Just plummet. Yeah.
QPR have a lot of similarities. They've also overspent. I believe they've been close to point deductions for overspending. When they went down, or I guess they stayed up, and they were real close. If they would have gone down, they would have been really screwed. But I think they fired their manager, but I don't think they've seen a bump since hiring their new guy. But it hasn't been that long. But I mean, in any relegation race, it only takes a few matches. You win a couple of matches, all of a sudden you're in 18th.
Well, that's it. Yeah, I mean the name of the game, and I said this the same last season as Everton were struggling, was you kind of went to Sean Dyche isn't exactly inspiring. I said, yeah, but it doesn't matter. He puts points on the board.
Yeah, he
a
figures
draw
out a way to
is
stay
better
up.
than a loss.
Yeah.
Exactly. And at
1-0 to Bournemouth on the final game of the fucking season. We figure out a way to stay up when at halftime we were going down.
but 4 draws prior to that, at various stages, got you the points necessary that final game, you had the chance to stay up and you figured it out. You know what I mean?
Draw at Leicester is what ultimately kept us up.
Exactly.
A draw at Leicester.
So
it's funny. Rotherham's in 24th, and they've tied both Leeds and Ipswich at home. So that's just how tight this division is.
Yeah.
Like you can.
Well, it's at
you can get
nine
results.
draws. You take 3 of those, right? And you have 6 points, 24. That picks them up to just a point from safety, right? But 9 draws. That's a lot of fucking draws, man.
Yeah. Got to get some W's.
You have
Gotta
to get a
some
couple of
Ws.
wins. You have to get a couple of wins.
I will say all those teams down there, other than probably Stoke, who we haven't played at home yet, were terrible. They're like they find a way to eke out results, but they just have nothing in attack.
All I want to know is which of these clubs is Neil Warnock taking over, and when is he taking the reins?
He's already taken over most of them at some point. So
That's what I'm saying. But I'm here for it, and I love the Warlock, and I want him back in football.
Well, he already was at Huddersfield. He's already gone from that.
No, he left. Yeah, he left when he kept him up.
Yeah.
I think if Plymouth struggle, he might take them over.
That's near Cornwall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's near. Yeah, you can stay home and see Sharon every day.
He won't have to. He won't have to take the helicopter. He can just drive. It'd be
love
fine.
it.
But it's after the holiday
That's
season.
a Cornwall. It's a
now
lovely
he's
part of the
he's
world,
ready to
isn't it?
Take over another job.
So, who do you think are the 3 teams that ultimately go down?
Oof, that's a tough question at this stage.
I think Rotherham is down.
Yeah, I think they're
That's
definitely.
a safe bet, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think QPR's down, and I think Huddersfield's down.
Yeah. You think Wednesday figures out a way to stay up? That's good. That means we have a Sheffield derby
It'd be nice.
next
a
season.
Steel City derby.
Because fucking the Blades are definitely going down.
Oh yeah.
They've got a
Big
new
time.
manager. They've gone from shit to slightly mediocre.
They've
Which is
gone
good enough
from
for the championship.
as you said earlier with Mr. Lewis Black. They've gone from terrible to shitty.
Yeah.
They're just
Yeah.
Or shitty to terrible. I don't know which one.
I could see, honestly, I could see Birmingham continuing the slide if they don't like this new manager.
yeah. Don't disagree.
Honestly.
Got Tony Mowbray. He's a solid.
But he's a
championship
solid
manager. Yeah.
championship manager. It's just whether or not they can get the players on board.
I
Because
think-
obviously Wayne Rooney didn't appear to change a ton of the tactics.
No.
For
Well,
instance,
he doesn't really have tactics.
No.
That's part of the problem.
what I'm saying is, even if he said, "Do whatever the old guy said," that got them to 6th.
Yeah.
Has he finally gotten his coaching license? Because remember when he was coaching Derby County,
Yeah, his license.
He didn't have his license.
He did the old Gareth Southgate.
Yeah.
At Middlesbrough years ago. Well, he didn't have a license. They were actually docked points for that. Back in the day, I think it was 2 or 3 Premier League points when Gareth Southgate was in interim charge of them because he didn't have his coaching license.
I can't be arsed to keep track of Wayne Rooney's coaching licenses.
Anyway,
I'm sure
I
they
think
just passed him on a technicality, even if he did have them.
even if you like, my point is I don't think he changed much. I think he said do what the old guy did. They brought me in because of my name, and they slid from 6th to 15th.
Yeah.
So obviously the players, let this affect their performances.
Yeah.
It's not just on Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
You still got to run out there. How many stories have I told you about Patrick Vieira not even looking at Arsene Wenger and grabbing the Arsenal players on the pitch and go, fuck you. This is what we're doing for 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We're going to regain control of this ball. We're going to do this and move forward. Bang. Then we'll get back to the manager's tactics. But fuck him right now. We need to regain control of this. What Birmingham City players done that? Not a single fucking one of them.
All right, boys.
And that's what would concern me about them.
There are no parting words. We've said enough. But
Actually, I had a 3-minute diatribe about something, but you know what? Well, save it for next week.
You've had a couple of 3-minute diatribes, my friend. Next up is injury time, where we're going to go ahead and preview the only 5 matches that should really just be 10 matches.
Sorry,
'cause they're gonna
boys,
make
you're
them
only
play
getting
at the
about
end.
6 minutes of injury time today.
Well, no, Mel's going to tell us all the porn hub
oh yeah,
searches.
Pornhub. I forgot.
So,
I got
now,
loads of time for that.
Hey, look, suddenly her eyes perk up. She's all like, hey, we're about to do this. So
Something perked up on me,
live
too.
stream, thank you so much for hanging out with us. This show normally only goes about 20 minutes, and it went an hour. So
Yeah. Well, we had Geck here.
we had to talk championship.
Absolutely.
Till next
and we
week.
had to go on a big tangent.
Till next week, everybody.
Tangents.
The tangents.